And bring him in. Tag a friend and bring him in. That's what Sister Felicia Hampton says. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. I'm joined here with my trusty sidekick, Mr. Anthony Shaheed.
Thank you, man. Hey. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
My brother.
Man, I feel black-tastic and black-orific and black-magnificent, so talk black to me, but please don't talk back to me.
And Sister Felicia Hampton is in here. She's matter of fact, she went and met, we got a big surprise, but Reverend Larry Rice is here.
In the house.
In the house.
In person.
Yeah. You didn't know about that, did you?
No, you didn't
We
know
talk
about
that homeless situation and the people with them dogs downtown peeing and boo-booing all over the damn place. Yes. And we got my main man, Bombay Bosley, keeping it together. Producing.
Brother Bombay Bosley in the house. Then. Hey, Brother Bombay.
All right. So we got a good show, but Brother Shaheed, go and tell us about the students that we got.
I got some young people.
Some friends here.
I got some young people here that we want to really start talking about what young people are doing because, as you gave all of us chances, now we want to continue what you've done by passing on to young people and hearing from them. So we got some young people from Columbia, Missouri, is in the house. Mm-hmm. Sister Nia, and I want to make sure I'm saying, is it Neville?
Neville.
Neville. Mm-hmm. Who's a political, help me with this political.
I'm a political science major, and I want to double minor in women and gender studies and African American studies.
A double?
Yes.
I like that.
It's that or triple major.
Okay, and then we got another young brother here, Brother Marquis. I want to make sure I'm saying right. Marquis. Come on, help me.
There you go, Marquis Goban.
Okay, Brother Marquis. Right. I got a chance to see them about 2 weeks ago.
How old are you all?
I'm 18.
Both of them 18. Hey. Do you remember those days, man?
I love it.
I remember those days. So when I saw him, he was with maybe about 7, 8 young people. And when they approached me and I approached them, I said,
they approached you?
Yeah, we approached each other. Mm-hmm. It was a serious approach. And I said, we want some young people around us because, it's no life when you don't have young people. Plus, we can't keep speaking for young people. Young people have to speak for themselves. And knowing that they're in, I think you're in St. Louis University, right, my young brother?
Yeah.
Both of us.
Okay, both. Okay, Allahu Akbar. So all praise due to Allah. So what we want to do is kind of start hearing from y'all, and hopefully I can start getting y'all to come on a regular basis to start helping us what young people are talking about and pushing young people's ideas. And then Mayor Bosley is the first black mayor of the city of St. Louis, so he has so many contacts. He has more contacts than you have ages. So who would like to start talking first about what's happening, what young people are talking about, what's happening up in the school, what's happening up on the college, what's happening? Who want to go first? And everybody got to start at the same time.
You can start off.
Okay, well, it's been a little eventful for the first couple of weeks of college. There's been a lot of focus on mental health amongst the student body right now because we have had 2 incidences of suicide and we don't have a crisis center.
Did you know any of those people?
No.
I knew one of them.
You did?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did he seem troubled or was it a girl?
He didn't. And actually males.
He did?
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, he didn't. And I think suicide is very prevalent in men most of all because we have this bravado that we don't need help. Even in black communities and black spaces, that is even deeper topic because we always tell our little babies, I tell little girls, what you got to be mad about? I'm providing for you, or we tell them go drink some water. We want it to be okay, but it's something that we need to take seriously and put on the same level as we do with our physical health, and I think a lot of people are struggling with that right now.
Yeah, my mom's a principal down in Columbia, and this is a conversation that she's had to have with a lot of her students.
Is she a principal at a PWI?
She is not.
Now you got to break that down, man. What you're saying? I don't know what PWI mean. What that mean?
A predominantly white institution. I think that means if there's more than 75% of the student body is white, then it is a predominantly white institution.
Well, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, and more of 75% of SLU is white. But no, she works at an alternative school, Frederick Douglass High School down in Columbia. And the thing about suicide in the black community is that a lot of the incidences are framed as if they're not suicide. So the numbers aren't being recorded, so it doesn't seem like it's as prevalent in our communities.
Is it?
It is.
It is. So the other thing about it is that we wonder, why is there this increased amount of suicide, particularly among young people in particular, is because, we grew up in a social media age. And that is, very, there's a film called, what is it called?
Speak right into that mic for me.
There's a film that's, on Netflix that like explores like how the internet controls you in like certain ways and like incentivizes you for further usage, and at certain times is designed to make you feel more depressed. So that you continue to use it.
Wow.
Because you see like all of the good things that other people are doing, and you're just kind of like, wow, I'll never be able to like achieve that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, wow, they're doing good things. I have to post good things of me doing this stuff too, so I can feel the same stature. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't fool with none of it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is.
Well, this is interesting. Just starting off, man. I mean, they done came from a different standpoint. I mean, different style, you know.
How'd you all wind up at St. Louis U?
They gave me the most money. They gave me the most money.
Oh, well, that's a good.
That's a good way to look at it.
They gave me no money.
I bet. Well, like I really saw that St. Louis University had a very good social work program, and I'm very passionate about doing that type of work. So.
Well, I am a political science major, and it's also a good place to...
I like her.
It is. It's a good place to have more opportunities for my major and what I want to do later in life than some of the other colleges I was looking at. So they did give me a lot of money, but that was also good for me.
I was a political science major.
Yeah, see how good you're doing now? That's why I came to St. Louis. Uh-huh.
Okay, so now what are you going to do with a political science degree?
Okay, so... I do want to go to law school after I graduate college. A lot of the people that I've talked to who have been through law school before, though, they weren't recommending doing the pre-law track because you can major in anything
and go to law school.
Go to law school. So I do want to go to law school. And then sometime in between college and law school, I do want to get more involved in politics. So
between college and law school, you mean like right now?
Yeah, like right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, you come to the right place.
Yeah, you're dealing with a political guru. No one knows politics like Mayor Bosley, I promise you.
You come to the right place.
Okay,
and we can make introductions for you to certain people and get you involved in certain things if that's what you desire, you know. But I'm glad to see you at your age. You were sitting right here next to me.
Yes.
When, let's see, I graduated from St. Louis U. Before you were born.
Oh, wait.
All right. And you think it's a PWI now.
I bet.
How about we were probably 5% African Americans.
Oh, wait.
We had a organization called the Black Student Alliance. Is it still in existence?
Yeah,
it's
really?
But they have their own center now, though.
Yeah.
So
who?
The Black Student Alliance. They've progressed.
Where is it?
In the Bush Student Center.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we had our office was in Bush Center.
Okay, so I guess maybe not. It may still say.
Well, I mean, but we just had a little office smaller than this. Or are you saying they got something bigger than this?
I feel like it's less of like an actual place. It's more like a lounge for all of the black kids on campus to like interact with each other. So like a space just for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we used to hang out down in stairs in Bush Center. Do they still have the pool tables and stuff down there?
Yes, they do.
The ping pong table. Yes, that's where we used to hang out at. And
it's right across from there, actually. It's the room for the Black Student Alliance. It's right across from there now.
It's downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
This is pretty
So about how many blacks are at the university now?
250. I want to say 250. 250. I think it's not that much. We're 5%. I know we're 5% overall.
Wow. Well, there's about 1,000 of us.
Oh, so maybe 1,000. Well, 5% of. So it has to be a couple thousand actually, if it's 5%, because I think there are 13,000.
Well, now let's see now. But it's when I was there, it was only about 11,000 students in the school. How many are there now?
So they're like 13,000 now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's more.
5% of that would be like 650.
Yeah, I guess. I can't do the math.
Yeah. I
Not
don't do
for
numbers
me.
like that right now.
It's 650. Yeah.
650. Okay.
650.
Got you.
Right. From.
So how strong is that Black Student Union or that Black Student Alliance? How strong is it there? Do y'all have to wait till Black History Month to talk black, or do you know?
So it's expanded past that. So there are also a lot of other organizations for black kids to be in on campus now. So there are other things like
a lot of other organizations for black people to be in,
like that are dedicated just to them still.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there
Like
is
what?
a black fraternity
Yeah,
on
that's what-
campus.
A what?
So we do have 2 black fraternities on campus.
Yeah.
And then we also have AIM, the African American Male Scholars Initiative, and
Audrey
the,
Lorde Scholars.
for black women. And
then isn't there the African Student?
their African Student Alliance, and then there's also one organization that is specifically dedicated towards decarcerating in general for black and brown families.
So there are like multiple spaces for us on campus now.
And you all are how old again?
18.
Man,
Beautiful.
I'm serious.
18. Huh?
I'm enjoying this here because I'm looking at them and thinking about how I was when I was 18
Yeah,
and how sharp they are.
You're bright.
Yeah, y'all are really sharp and bright, and I like that. I'm just always concerned about when I hear somebody at these schools. I don't expect for you to walk around with your fist of black power and all that there, but I like black people to act like black people. And a lot of times when they're up on them college campuses, you know, sometimes they get a little nervous. And that's why y'all have to, you know, be studious. You got to study a lot, and you got to know your history, so you can feel good about, you know, what we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, I
So
feel
the
like you do visibly kind of see some of that on campus still, because you definitely see people who are like associating with other black people and getting into their roots, and like that there are opportunities for us to meet other educated black people here, and you definitely see people who aren't into that, especially since we are going to a PWI.
And I
Might
do
look like our time is
Yeah.
down to 30 seconds here.
Well, look, I want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us a little bit. You gonna stick around?
Yeah, they're
a
gonna
little
stick
bit?
around. Yeah, they're gonna stick around.
All right, then. It's time for a break. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. Hallelujah! Keep it on lock. Quit playing! Ho!
That's how we do it around here.
Yeah.
So we still live, young
Yeah.
people, and I'm just telling you, I'm really impressed. I love what I heard. You know, I'm really impressed. This is your first time, but this is not going to be your last time. And we want to hear what young people are talking about. I like the piece you just talked about suicide and how they're not really making it an issue, or they're trying to glass over it. And then he turned around and talked about males. You know, mostly our young males are having that problem. So what I want y'all to do is come on over here. I want you to get yourself comfortable. I want you to get that seat over there, and y'all sit back for a minute and start thinking about what it is to help keep pushing this thing.
Had
Do
you
I
heard
need-
of?
Do I need to go get Larry Rice? Should I
uh,
bring them in, Mary?
I'm a Board of Alderman nerd, so
what?
I'm a Board of Alderman nerd.
You on the board of Alderman?
No, I said I'm a Board of Alderman nerd.
Oh, you on?
So
Oh.
if you ever know anything, just let me know.
Okay. Look
My
out.
brother's on the board of Alderman.
Brandon Bosley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know him. I know Lakeisha.
My father was on the board of Alderman.
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay.
Board of Alderman nerd. I mean, that means you follow that
I
with a certain level of intensity.
I do.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I think we live in the 19th, so I think it's Marlene Davis.
You ever heard of Reverend Larry Rice before?
Yeah, he used to run the homeless shelter.
Okay, y'all know a little something. Okay.
What Marlene Davis? That's over there about Van Van, right?
Marlene Davis, yeah. That's where Marlene Davis is the alderman in the area where St. Louis University sits. You know that? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now you say that you're a board of alderman nerd. So what do you do to keep up? Do you just you do? Have you ever been down there?
Yeah, so I've only been down there once. Well, twice. One time I went down there for a protest, and then one time I went down there to watch the action. But other than that, I watched it on.
Oh, you watch the TV thing. Okay. Yeah. Reverend Rice. Welcome, sir.
So we're live. We're already live. Get that door, Secretary.
Welcome. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come down and hang out with us.
Wow, you're looking good. I haven't seen you for a while.
I have thought about you, and we've even talked about
Oh,
you.
yeah, we
since
talked
they,
about
created all of that hullabaloo about your place being in non-conformance of what the city codes are. When that has been going on for ever since you got there. I mean, you've been dealing with the issue of homeless people.
Yes.
Well, like this. When I was in law school working for legal services,
Yeah.
30-something years ago,
Oh, yeah.
people will say when folks come to legal aid and they had a problem, like one of my problems, my main areas was utilities. I think you all used to help people out with a little something for their utility
we still
bill.
try to do that when we can.
And that's 30 years ago.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
we're
saying?
celebrating 50 next year.
Okay, all right
50.
then.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we got to do that some of that on our show.
Oh, we got to do that. We're going to do
January
that.
we'll be celebrating 50 years.
All right.
Okay.
Of course, Anthony was only about 10 years old then.
Yeah.
He's a young guy.
Something like
Anthony
that.
Rice?
No, Anthony Shahid.
Yeah.
This is Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Aaron over here.
Chris Rice.
Chris Aaron. Chris is my son. Chris Aaron's my grandson.
Rice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, following in your grandfather's footsteps.
How long before we ready?
We ready,
Both
Bo?
About a minute.
Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful.
But we're still live right now, so whatever you want to be talking about, it's okay. Whatever you talking about, it's okay. I'm really glad you got your grandson here.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
When
he's got a
got
special
He
event.
got a special event that he's
that's
gonna
going to
play.
talk about the virtual night out with the homeless.
Okay.
And I want to talk a little bit about a new program we want to implement with getting women trying to get them in different homes for people right now. I'm really concerned about what's happening this winter.
So I want two things. I want you to speak directly into this mic. I mean, when I said directly into, that's one. And then next
Put
thing,
it as close as you need.
okay. And then the next thing, you know, even though we're taping, we're talking as if it's Saturday morning.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So
I do want to talk a little bit about what happened in the city
Oh, yeah.
and the building,
Oh, yeah.
and then what the plan is to return. You know, I know we could talk about that for 3-4 hours, but I guess we don't want to take away from what Chris wants to do. So
Well, that's
I just
last weekend in October and trying to get people involved. But no, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
what day is that?
You ready?
October the when?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, y'all. Quiet on set. This next segment is going to be 22 minutes. Start recording in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, St. Louis. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
AM. Joined with me sitting here is Mr. Anthony Shahid. We just heard from two great students from St. Louis University.
Beautiful,
Right?
beautiful.
18 years old. Huh?
I remember when I was 18.
18 years old.
Yeah.
Your mind worked go back that far?
Just that quick, too, man.
All right, and so now we've joined sitting here to my left is Mr. Larry Rice, Reverend Larry Rice,
Yes.
who started the New Life Evangelistic Center that is still alive and well.
Yes.
He has suffered the slings and arrows of the city administration,
Yes.
constantly trying to shut him down, not wanting homeless people in the downtown area, basically, in my view, to allow the yuppies and the uppies to walk their dogs while they pee and boo all over the place, but they don't want to feed the homeless.
Yeah, ain't that something?
He's also brought with him his grandson, Chris, who also is following in his grandfather's footsteps, and Chris has a program that he's going to be talking to us about. But if we can, Reverend, can we just get a little bit of what happened? And we know you're no longer down there. Why you're not down there? But you do plan on trying to come back, and let's talk about that a little bit. Then I want to let you.
Okay, well, first of all, you can
introduce Chris.
close down a building, can't close down a church.
Right.
We're down there every day among the homeless.
Okay.
First responders
Okay.
we have down there.
Okay.
We're feeding them, taking them emergency supplies. We're about ready to launch the distribution. 200 sleeping bags.
Okay.
A couple hundred backpacks.
You are still at New Life Evangelistic.
We have
not
we
inside.
have some first responder workers that are in there,
Okay.
but they
Okay.
can't come in there. We go out
Right.
to them.
Okay.
I think what happened to us has been summed up excellently by Anthony Shahid when he said that I refused to be Francis Slay's boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. That's
When
right.
Francis couldn't
Yes.
control us.
Right.
What he couldn't control, he shut down.
Yes.
What Lyda Cruz couldn't control,
Yes.
she continued to shut down. So that's what it was. We were independent from them. At that time, we weren't a part of their continuum of care. We dared to stand up to them and tell them their gentrification, their destruction of affordable housing was greater than their efforts helping the homeless. They didn't want to see that. So they started in 2012. What it was a public legal lynching, and it took all the way to April 2017.
5 years.
Closed the building down. Yes, it did.
Yeah, 5 years.
And it had been closed 4 years, but now we're gearing back up taking the first steps
That's right.
to try to get back in first as a day center, expand to overnight. In the meantime, after they shut us down, we start opening up all these little houses for homeless women and children. We call them safe houses. We've got 10 of them open right now. And then we're going to try to start a new program. We can talk about it a little bit if you want to, Saints Providing Safe Houses.
Okay.
And in fact, again, it's something similar to what Anthony Shaheed experienced when he was a child, with a saint opening her door, taking his family in. We're going to try to do that big time.
Yes.
So,
And that's what I respect about Reverend Rice. You know, he's sincere. And I'm always going to work with Reverend Rice myself. Quite a few of us, we believe in what he's doing. And I've been blessed to go around quite a bit with him in the last 2 years. Even while he's been gone, me and him haven't been gone. And his grandson, like you said, is taking on the responsibility, because we have to keep on passing things to young people. But what I really hate is how they use politics. And Francis Slade, but really it's him. But when you talk about the business people down there, you're talking about a man by the name of Rich Callow. I never stopped that name, Rich Callow. See, because he was always the person behind. You would see Seamus, he was always a puppet. He just was just a dummy, to be honest, and just ignorant. But it was Rich Callow, and this is me saying this, it was Rich Callow pulling those strings. And every time you look up, they was doing a baseball game, everybody, they would move the homeless, because they said it would look like a sword. It didn't look right to have poor people down there. But like you said, they feed dogs, and I don't have a problem with no dogs, but I'm not putting no dogs for no people.
Right.
I ain't. You know?
That's right. That's
So
right.
I'm thankful that you're doing what you're doing. I like what you were doing out there in Overland and what you continue to do, and that's why I support you, Reverend Wright. Whatever you're doing, I'm with you.
Well, see, the other thing about this, on the return of New Life Evangelistic Center to downtown, I think will probably garner, it's just my thoughts, will garner more energy now than last time, because people kind of just watched you go through it. But this time, people are paying attention. You hear what I'm saying? And they know what you did, and now they know, they see what it is like now that you're gone. And so now they got something to compare you to.
Buildings
that's
being
right.
shot into,
They got
all
something
kinds
to
of bad stuff
compare you to. So now I think it's going to be more energy around that. And so I think one of the things that would be helpful, if in your efforts to come back, let people know more, talk about it, get that word out more. And I think that it would get traction. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, what you doing? I said, I'm getting ready for my radio show. And then they said, well, what are some of your topics going to be? I said, well, I got a big topic now. I got Larry Rice coming. Oh, they just lit up. You know what I'm saying? Normally they wouldn't be talking about that, but they said, we got to do something about that. And guess what they say? If I need to donate, I'll donate.
And that's deep.
You see what I'm saying?
They're homeless. They're all over on the streets.
I'm telling you, let's take it to the street.
Well, you brought that up. Chris Aaron's got a special event going on where people can actually, they don't have to sleep right downtown with them, but wherever they're at, they can go on the Facebook and it's a virtual night with the homeless, our first one. Can you take a moment?
Yeah, please.
So since mid-1980s, New Life has done a very unique event where we invite volunteers and people to really engage in outreach, and to start that whole season, they would sleep outside in front of City Hall or somewhere else in a safe location with guards and stuff, but they would actually experience that together. Since COVID happened, a lot of nonprofits and other organizations have gone virtual, and we have the technology now to do this, where anybody can participate and receive the education, inspiration, and meaningful night where they're at. So it's a lot safer, but we were asking people to get intentionally uncomfortable for one night to sleep in solidarity with our homeless brothers and sisters.
So where are we going to do that at?
They can do it wherever they're at. They can do it out in their backyard.
Well, we want to do it with you on the spot. Where are you all going to be?
We're going to be downtown doing outreach late into the night, and then we are going to go to our respective spots, set up camp.
We got people coming with us, like Mark Glenn. Anthony knows him quite well. He's now moving to Springfield to help us to get training there to come back to this here in St. Louis. He'll probably be doing it in that facility we have in Springfield, Missouri. That's out there.
We've got people who are signed up from North Carolina and Pennsylvania. I mean, people all over the United States. They're going to get involved in this special event.
What day?
So this is going to be October 22nd. And this is it starts at 8 p.m. and it goes until 9 a.m. in the morning the next morning. and we'll have different interviews and different. It's just going to be a really meaningful night. So this is going to
go down there.
We'll do that.
We got to keep them informed. We'll let them know where we're going to be. I want to put another plug in.
Go ahead.
Next Saturday, October 9th, okay? And we are going to be in front of 1411 Locust. We blocked the streets off.
October 9th?
We're calling it Socktober. We're trying to get supplies to the homeless people, backpacks with socks, gloves, and the rest. And I remember Leo, African-American man, years ago, came into 1411 Locust. His hands are freezing, and literally, I never saw anything like his fingers broke off in our sink, and he had stubs. And we had to get Velcro for his clothes so he could close his clothes. And ever since then, I've been resolved to get a glove on every homeless person that I can, socks on them, because I can tell often how long they've been out on the street by how many fingers they're missing, toes they're missing, tips of the ears they're missing. And they have no place to go during the day now. That's why we got to get 1411 Locust open back up. But that's going to be blocked off like from 8 to 11. They're going to...
8 in the morning
8 in the morning
to 11 at night?
To 11 in the morning.
Okay.
Because we're going to be giving out backpacks, flashlights to them, bus tickets to the folks, and have a catered meal at 10:30.
Okay. Now, how about the Urban League? Have you received any kind of contact from the Urban League, because they are way out here trying to help people with food and
the last
all this
contact
type?
I had was when I was locked up with the director of the Urban League at the same time I was locked up with
Mike
Anthony
McMillan?
Sheed.
Yeah, okay.
We were
There you
in
go.
the Same cell, same place.
I would be.
That's how I got acquainted with Mike better.
That would be a good time to outreach.
Yeah, well, let's put them together. I'll do that.
Let Shahid do that.
So you can tell them what we're doing, why we need their help. But now, how are we going to need folks like that all over to step up at this time?
That's what I'm saying.
Because the mayor's under a lot of pressure downtown. Anthony mentioned one person, but there's a dozen of them just like that individual that's got. They want to control. They don't want folks downtown that don't have money.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
The truth is, their philosophy is not in my backyard, that these services, if they're down there actually serving, they're the reason that there's homeless. But what we found is when New Life closed down, that just exponentially made the problem worse.
Domino
they
effect.
didn't disappear.
Now
more homeless than ever before,
Camping
especially
out.
with COVID, are down there on the streets, and they have nowhere to go.
And in St. Louis County, too. You see them up there in the corners.
Yes, something I was thinking about, and I can't think of his name, but when Julius Hunter was on Channel 4, was another guy. Was it Larry?
Larry Connor.
Larry Connors. He slept outside one time.
Larry Connors did?
Larry Connors. And I'm telling you, he came back totally different. He was out there for like 2 nights.
Larry Connors.
This was back about 45 years ago. I never forget that. And I'm saying what Chris is saying, if you're not uncomfortable, you really don't understand what a person is talking about.
That's right.
Because other than that, as long as you got food in your house and you got bed and you're under your cover, you'll look at the news and say, wow, they out there sleeping and stuff. Wow, I feel sorry for them. Like, God bless them. And that's pretty much the circumference of damage of your thinking.
Right.
But if you out there, and like you just said, somebody's toes are frostbitten, or they lost fingers, or you see somebody out there because it's bitter cold out there, because I've been out there with them. I haven't stayed the whole night, so I'm not going to lie and play like I have.
Out there late
But I've came out there enough times to understand it's serious. So when I heard you say you got to make yourself uncomfortable, we can keep on sitting back, but you don't never know what's going to happen to you in life, and you can be in that same situation.
Absolutely. And there's so much indignity in how our society treats people who are experiencing homelessness. One thing that we just forget is the lack of access to public bathrooms and shelter. It's so hard for them to wash their hands, for them to use the bathroom without being stigmatized, kicked off, moved on. I mean, it's really, really, really sick.
Well, they don't have no problem because most of them are black.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. Let me say it real loud. Most of them are black. So that's why they ain't got no problem with it. But go ahead.
Remember when this is before we were born, but the city had public bathhouses.
They do. They lock them up there.
Yeah. Some of them are still in existence. What if you were able to get your hands on one of those?
Well, let me tell you what happened. They're not even going to let us do showers in our building unless all the neighbors sign it, because they call it a public bathhouse, and you got to get the neighbors to sign a petition just to be able to give the homeless a shower in the building. So it's all these little regulations and public safety is coming. And us men, it's tough enough for us to be out there, but the women I
Yeah.
can tell you some horror
And the
stories the
children.
last few months, in the last few years of the women that I've been seeing out there. And we got a woman with a 3-year-old child. We can't get her in any place right now. There's a lady, I got in a motel right now, haven't heard them for a month. She was sleeping in her wheelchair outside of the city library. She ended up homeless. She had diabetes. She couldn't keep their insulin. She lost her foot. She's got one leg right now. And she lived for 2 to 3 months in the wheelchair outside of the library.
Lived in a wheelchair.
Lived in a wheelchair. She'd crawl out of her wheelchair. And she's studying in the meantime at the local junior college to be a mortician, and she goes to classes whenever she could, and she was homeless the whole period of time. And Sylvia's her name, and I'd like to see somebody be willing to take Sylvia in. I'd even give them, if they'd help take care of Sylvia, $125 a week till we can get Sylvia situated. If they take her in their home. And they can call us at 421-3020.
You gonna
talk to my grandson, Chris Aaron.
Say that number again. You're going way too fast. You think I'll take shorthand.
He's trying to get it all out.
Yeah, okay, that's all right.
421
Yes.
3020. You know, when I get excited, I talk
That's
fast.
all right. This is time to be excited.
421-302. And Anthony hit something straight on the head. I'm white. But look, I saw bigotry. I mean, people can't deny that they don't want African Americans in that neighborhood.
Oh, hell no.
And,
Right.
you know,
Tell
the
the
people
story.
with the money have come in there.
Tell
That's
the
what it is.
story.
It's raw
Yeah.
bigotry. I mean, the new N word in America, I hate to say it, is homelessness. They think they call them homeless. They can get away with saying they're perverts or this, that, and the other. They don't meet the Sylvias out here, or the lady with the 3-year-old child that we've had with us for long. Can't even get her in any other shelters. They're always full up there. Out there, it's hard right now. It's really hard, and it's raw bigotry. It's out there.
And I think that COVID-19 has shaken some of the dust off of people's eyes, and they've recognized more of how easy it is to become homeless. You know, over 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. With
Yes.
one emergency, they can be out on the street too.
Well, one
This is
check
not-
away.
One check away from
That's
being
right.
homeless. This
Right.
is not something just for the lower middle class and the poor. No, this is for anybody. One disaster with all the wildfires, with all the hurricanes, with all the earthquakes. I mean, you can wake up one day and be homeless.
That's right.
And so we need to develop, and this is to the young people, we need to wake up and say enough is enough. We're not going to rely on systems that they're not working. We need to
one
come
more-
up with creative ideas.
And one
to
more
address
quick thing
this
I got to get in here.
solution.
Get it
Right away.
out.
Federal surplus property belongs to the homeless. We tried to use the Abram building. They wouldn't let us do that. On South Kings Highway, we found an armory. They wouldn't let us do that. I've asked our Congressman, Cori Bush, I've written her 2 letters, haven't gotten a response yet, to investigate why less than 1% of the federal surplus property ends up among the homeless. And I know what happens the last 2 times. The city cut deals with developers. It was all cut and dried. I put in extensive applications. The building we got in Springfield, Missouri, my son Chris is running 150 to 200 homeless people come in every day. They're taking care of them in the former Social Security building. What's happening is they're stealing these federal surplus property buildings and giving them to rich developers. And we need to get Cori Bush to investigate this. I've written her twice. I haven't gotten a response, but anybody knows how to get through to Cori.
Well,
if she doesn't do it, I don't know who's going to ever investigate
I
this.
think she responds to petitions well. You know.
Okay, we might have to start
More
something
than
like
one
that.
person, something with many names attached to it. I think
Let's
they
investigate
get. Yeah, I think
why
that
they're
gets
not
her
using
attention.
the federal
Yeah.
surplus property to help the
And,
homeless.
and see, you just said something that most people don't even know
Yeah.
about the surplus
Stewart
property.
B. McKinney Homeless Assistance Act.
Okay.
Stewart B. McKinney Homeless Assistance Act that says federal surplus property needs to be offered to the homeless first. And we put great applications in both cases, but the deals cut under the Slay and Cruzan administration shut them down before we even do it.
Well, if it needs to be offered to the homeless first, what is that procedure for offering it? Is it that they make an announcement in the paper that it's available?
You got to constantly search, and you see that this is made available, and it's
crazy.
And after getting shut down twice in the city, it's hard to keep putting in these very extensive applications because, I don't know, I like to think a new day has dawned, but in order for that to happen, the people are going to have to really pray for our mayor, get behind our mayor, because she's under an awful lot of pressure right now by these big money interests that you mentioned, but that's one of so many down there.
That's what got me concerned, because I'm just telling you, I remember when Lyda came at you, but all this is under Rich Callow. Rich Callow has been around since Francis Slay, but even before that was Shamo.
Oh, yeah.
And see, when you got him behind those business people, because
yeah.
see, what they look at that as a sore thumb or looking like something is wrong when black people, homeless, but black people mostly are down there. Because I've seen every time they had anytime they was doing anything, they would move the homeless people. Me and you dealt with so much stuff together, so I see it. And the mere fact that I know Rich Callow's there, and I'm just being honest, he's over the chairman of her preservation board now.
Okay.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I'm just telling you. This is what I know for a fact. If you think I'm wrong, call 314-622-3201 and ask the mayor, ask her, is Rich Callow over there? Because maybe I'm wrong. I know I'm not, but this way you'll know. And if he is, that's a problem to me. See, I'm just being honest with you. Y'all don't want to talk. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but I can't cover for nobody. If you're right, you're right. John 8:32 says, know ye the truth, and the truth will set you free. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm concerned every time I hear anything about Rich Callow involved in anything, I know something ain't right. I smell a dead rat.
And the last time we spent $80,000 in architectural plans, our eighth ones went in.
80,000.
80,000 because they kept knocking out the plans.
Yeah, okay.
Finally, they said, go ahead and build. Well, we were sued by these developers and the others. They sued us and the city. I thought the city, well, they'd be on our side. No, that we went for the City Board of Building Appeals, and they decided with the developers because of the people that Anthony's talking about that they are on that board.
I know what I'm talking about. They don't want to talk about it, but I'm just telling you, I keep it real. When I hear Rich Callow, this is about the third or fourth week I've been talking about Rich Callow.
Yep.
Anytime something is going wrong in the black community, is somewhere, they show you somebody else. It wasn't Shamos. It was definitely Shamos. It was definitely what's his name, Francis Slade. It was all of them. It's definitely Lyda Cruiser. But I'm talking about the invisible hand that directs them. And Rich Callow is behind all of it. You can take that to the bank. Anything conniving, anything that's slick, anything that ain't right. This is Anthony Shaheed. I'm strictly speaking for Anthony Shaheed, and I'm not taking the damn thing back.
Well, you got to understand the power, what you're talking about is the power of those lobbyists, and you can remove all the politicians. You keep the same lobbyists, you're going to get the same laws, and the same thing happen.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's exactly what's going on down there. They shut down this whole homeless community next door to St. Pat's because they said there was a shooting there. Well, if they did that in every neighborhood in the city, they'd have to shut all the city down.
The whole entire city.
And then let things get so bad, then they go in and say they're cleaning it up, and they run them off. I can cite place after place they closed down.
What is St. Patrick's Center doing now?
St. Patrick's Center gets a lot of federal money.
Okay.
They do some good stuff in that, but it's a select group of people. It can't be any one of us. It takes all of us to complete this puzzle. The thing, though, is in order to get the money they have to do what the federal government tells them to do. So if they put a square box, you can't just stick around for things that are pile of round holes in a square box. We try to build programs around the people as they come to us. Right. They're meeting a need, but the trouble is they're not providing shelter. The problem is a place for people to sleep at night.
They're not? I thought there's a lot of people down there at St. Patrick's Center. They just hanging out?
Yeah, they hang out there, and then they think they got a place for like a dozen women. That's it, and the rest of them are out there. And they got pop-up shelters. There's an unsung hero. I'll mention the name, Bishop Mike Robertson. He does a lot. He's behind the scenes, but he runs City Hope. But his hands are tied because he gets the city money. That's why we never took city money, because they can't. Once you take their money, they control you.
And I'm going to tell you something else that a lot of people don't talk about that's really bad, Mayor, and for the listener, is the sleep deprivation.
The what?
What do you call it?
Sleep deprivation. They never let you sleep. You can't sleep there and keep you on the move.
Being around him, that's something I've really liked. Me and Reverend Rice done worked a lot together. Chris too, but me and Reverend Rice, and I don't have no problem working with him. Because what I see that he's doing is he's really trying to help and do what really Christ taught. I really see that in you. And when I see this sleep, I think of all the things I've seen, that's one of the damn worst. It's beyond torture.
It's used as a.
And that's what
we
want people to feel that night on that virtual night out with the homeless in your place. Try to go one night without it, but then go day after day after day. And you know what you're going to end up doing? Is like the guy that went and robbed this restaurant in Clayton, hung around for the cops to come, so he go back to the police, so he could get locked up again. He wanted to get locked up. I had one that happened to another homeless person.
Yeah.
So when you ask them how much have you slept each night, on average it's between 3, 4, 5 hours max.
My age, I got to get 8.
That's every single day.
It wears you down.
It wears you down. It wears down your body, your mind, your soul. And we wonder why they're just sitting around dazed.
Yeah,
they say it's all because they're lazy. It's not because they're lazy. They're on a move all the time.
And there's only one community out of the 90 in St. Louis County that the police, they don't hassle them as much if they see them laying down. All the others, you lay down here in Overland, they'll be right on you. And that's all, because what's happened, they've destroyed the mental health programs.
Yeah.
They've destroyed alcohol treatment programs.
Yes.
They expect the police. They see a person sleeping out there, call the police. They expect them to do something about it. Expect the police to solve all the problem. Police move them on and move them on and move them on all night long. Can't even get a decent place to sleep.
Wow.
And
It's sleep deprivation. They torture. They use this
yeah.
when they catch terrorists.
Yeah.
They'll use sleep deprivation as a form of torture, and that's happening to all these people that lose their home. Their only sin, and it's not a sin, they lost their home. And Jesus identified totally with the homeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, we had our Jesus statue in front of
I remember.
1411 Locust.
I know.
Somebody stole it.
Yeah.
They're so desperate in downtown. Somebody stole.
Somebody
our Jesus
also
solace.
stole
That's
the.
not funny, though.
There's
It's
a
not. I try
person
to smile to keep
sleeping
from
in a
crying.
chair. You had a sculpture of a person
what he's talking
sleeping in
about.
a chair.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No,
on a
this
bench.
one, Jesus was on
Yeah,
a
he
park
was on a
bench.
On
Yeah.
the
Park bench.
Yes. Okay. On the park bench.
They stole it.
Did you find it?
Yeah, we found it after it was cut up in pieces.
Oh.
And they found the guy that did it. But I don't know. The thing is all hell is broke out when they shut us down.
Yep.
Up and down Washington Street.
Yep.
People are scared to go downtown
Yep.
now. And they come along and say, look, well, we can't do that because those homeless people are going to bring crime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they don't know. They ought to see it. I mean, I'm not going to use that stupid excuse. We got to fight this time.
Yeah.
They try to do it. We're going to. I quietly moved out 4 years ago,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be quiet no more. I've already called Anthony last week and put him on notice.
Got to be the town crier this time.
With me
Town
and
crier,
one thing
we
that me
gonna
and
ring the
Mary me and Mary Bond, we're not known as being Millie Mouth.
Yeah.
We what is it? Wayward? How
Yeah, that's what it is.
we
That-
real wayward, and we want to stand with
Well, he
you.
went to that hearing and hollered "Homeless Lives Matter," and they're still
Oh yeah,
shaking.
I got my clown on.
Homeless lives matter.
And they do.
Yes, they do. Now, what about the place that they moved them all up the street by the McDonald's?
Okay, that's the Biddle House, and they moved them into
The
a
Biddle House.
pesticide warehouse.
Pesticide.
Yeah, they had former pesticides in it. Then they moved the women down to a recreation center while the media's watching. Media stopped watching. They pushed the women out of the recreation center.
Down to
And
Boulder, they took them down to Boulder. They took them to a few of them.
They took them different places.
I remember that.
They used to go walk into the Biddle House. Now you can't do that anymore. They chase them off. No, there's no place. You got to understand this. Even if you stay at a pop-up shelter, where do you go during the day? You drive downtown. I can find you 80 of them within an hour and a half.
And the thing
I do
is,
it every
this
Sunday.
winter is going to be so brutal. I mean, we faced it last winter, but this is going to be worse. There are more people experiencing homelessness. There are more disabled people experiencing
more
homelessness.
disabled.
We're seeing people who are of older age
Yes.
on the streets. So I mean, it's so critical that we find a solution now. And you know, the frustration is, I worked in Springfield at our center in Springfield for 2 years. The city in Springfield, they have their St. Patrick's is called Community Partnership of the Ozarks. They had all year to find good shelter, and they wait until the very last minute, and then they say, okay, New Life, swing in and help us out. And
Because they don't give a damn.
We fought the city, the county, and the school district there. We were open from 8 to 3. They have begged us now, and they've gone out and raised money, and they'll give us $5,000 a month if we open from 8 to 8. Keep them all day, they want us to do. Then they'll send buses at night and pick them up. So the city of Springfield's done a 180-degree turn, but the city of St. Louis, when they're going to wake up and start working with us rather than against us?
Okay, so when they send the bus to pick them up, where do they go then?
They take them out to different shelters.
Okay.
And they are finding other places that if they fill those shelters
Okay.
up, they're trying to work.
So the light bulb did come on.
Well,
To a certain
It's
extent,
it's glimmering.
That's right.
It's
What I need
glimmering.
to do right now, and I mentioned this, Lord woke me up at 4 o'clock this morning because that's been on my heart for 2 weeks. Housing costs have doubled. I can't keep buying safe houses like we have before. I've got 10 of them out there. What I'm looking for is saints providing safe houses. That's elderly people. They might have an extra room. Okay, we'll clear them at our place. We'll work with them on that, and we'll even give them, for like a woman, $100 a week if they take care of her for a month. If she's handicapped, and by the way, finding handicapped places are very, very difficult. Give them $125 a week. It will help that elderly person pay their light bill, their gas bill, develop a relationship with somebody. Then we're going to have crisis intervention people on call that if they have a problem with that person to call them, and we'll move them if we have to. But I've got to have people opening up their own.
Let's start giving
Anthony,
that
you got
number
a
out.
testimony on that by a woman that did that when you were a young man.
I ain't no secret, Miss Martha Harvey.
Yes.
I talk about Miss Martha Harvey all the time, and what she did for my mother and my brothers and sisters. I would never forget it, and that's why I want to get that number out. That number is 314, and you should be cutting it. You might say you don't need it, but you know someone needs it.
Yes.
That number is 314.
421.
421-3020. Let me put this number out. Let me handle this.
Go ahead.
Because
put it
I'm
on
serious
out there.
about this.
Yes.
314-421-3020.
3020, and if I'm not in, ask for Chris Aaron, and we'll plug them in, get them into this new program. My goal is 100 people by Christmas. I want 100 people in their homes for Christmas. First stage is this. Then let's work with them, find them jobs, get them bus tickets to get to those jobs. I got Sylvia, been waiting in a hotel. I can't find any place that takes handicapped people right now.
Well, Reverend, you got two young people over here, students from St. Louis University, 18 years of age. That
They need to see Chris
are aware
Aaron
of
and
you.
get them involved in that.
They were aware of you.
Oh, they were?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we need you to give
Well,
your numbers to
work
Chris
around.
Aaron over
Absolutely.
here and get everybody at the school involved
Yeah.
in this
Yes.
in Columbia. Because we have a training center in New Bloomfield,
Well,
Missouri.
they're at
My
St.
daughter
Louis
got her
U.
doctorates at the same school that you did, teaching social work now at the University
They're
of
at
Tennessee.
St. Louis University.
Oh, they're at St. Louis,
Yeah.
so she
But
got in Columbia.
I think what we are doing is hopefully enlightening them
Yes.
to the extent that they may want to get involved or
big difference.
get some of their friends on campus to get involved. You see, it's my father used to say the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step.
Yes.
You know, it's just ones and twos. You know, we're not hitting any home runs around here, but we can get the first, we can get the
Yes.
we can round those bases.
Well, one thing about
Yeah.
these young people, especially Nia and Marquise, I think with them coming aboard, and that's what we're really trying to do, is really get young people to come to help us do the things that we need to do, because they got to take it to another level. So again, that number is 314-421-3020, 421-3020. Make sure you call somebody. We're talking about October the 9th
Is it-
from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
That's October, yeah.
Okay, and then
Give
we're
away
also
to the
talking.
people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's when we do the giveaway to the homeless
Correct.
with direct action. Go ahead and give them the next date.
Okay, and that's October the 22nd. Come on, jump
Now
on
that's
in.
the big one.
That's the big
Yes.
one.
So October 22nd,
We got
which
one
is
more
a
minute. I
Friday
wanna make
night,
sure we get it out.
and we'll be doing virtual a virtual online event where you make yourself uncomfortable. You step into the shoes of somebody who
like that.
is experiencing hardship, and you learn a lot more about homelessness and about the critical needs that are out there. So it's going to be a really exciting event. And this virtual thing, we're really appealing to young people. We want them to get involved because
Well, Anthony,
you know-
he knows hundreds of them.
Right.
We got a few of them that stay out there with you
Yeah.
like that. They
Okay.
can bring them on this Facebook and get them connected on it and do the whole thing.
We're gonna
That's
do
right.
that.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah. So we need to. Mayor Bosley gonna talk, because I would like us to come out there with him for a little bit.
Oh yeah, well we want to talk about this a little bit more. We got one more. Can you hang in there with us for just a
We'll
little
do it.
bit
We're
more
here-
of this
we're
other
here for
segment?
you.
We can ready to go to a break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600 AM. Keep it on lock. Quick, play it.
See, we got bite with
Yeah,
eyes.
that's right.
See, and I think once we start getting around Sister Nia and Brother Marquise, I think we're gonna be even better.
gonna have more energy
Y'all
this
gonna
time.
show us how to
That's
do.
great. That is really good.
Hey, look
That's
how
a-
young they look, Chris. Look how young they look.
Oh, yeah.
Brothers and sisters, if y'all could just see what I'm looking at, I'm looking at some young
18.
people that I'm really asking to come aboard, because we really want to be around.
Chris,
Okay,
give
just one
Anthony and
Okay, come around this way, because you're in front of.
me.
That's all right. It's all good. It's all great.
It's his Facebook.
We keep it real.
Yep, you got it.
Ain't nothing
You
staged
got
here.
another one for Anthony there.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the people at the Zodiac.
I like that. I like
I'm
that.
going to ask the people
I
at
like
the
that.
Zodiac
I like that.
to all let's go down here on October the 22nd.
I like, and we'll start talking about before time,
Yes.
and we leave.
Where
Find out
are we going
We're
to
gonna-
be?
I like to go in
Chris is
front
gonna
of
set
City
that up.
Hall.
Let him know when you know
We're
where.
gonna, we're going to be in a variety of different
Should be out in
places.
front of City Hall,
Two
maybe.
different parties in downtown, going to different places. And so the way it'll work is all those who are not actually going to physically be down there with us, they're going to be virtual. They're going to
Right.
be watching it. We're going to like cut to one party and then the other party, one party and then the other party. But
But we're
gonna
going to
out
be
here.
physically down there.
Oh,
with
yeah.
you.
Okay.
I want to be
We can
physical.
lay down in front of City
And I'm
Hall
fin-
for a while, and like we've done, I've been out there all night before.
So,
and
what it, do we
He's
have
there.
like flyers or something?
You got a flyer,
Let's
you
make
get some
something.
flyers.
I,
You got 'em
I
made.
have them, but
Cards.
I don't
You
have
get them in
with
touch
me.
with them.
Yeah, and see, I can reprint
Posters,
those and
yeah.
post them up in
We
my
can-
in our bar, and I'm going to start
Are
actively.
you here every day?
Yeah, I'm
Is
here.
this your office?
Yes, it is. But I also have a bar, and I know you all don't drink, but it's a bar on Grand and Natural Bridge
So
called the
drop 'em off,
Zodiac.
Drop 'em off.
And I just want to. I just want to be able to, because these people, the middle class folks that come there,
yeah.
I want them to feel that discomfort. You see what I'm saying?
drop-
I
get him
want
some in his
them to
hands, your
feel
flyers.
that
Yeah.
discomfort because they're drinking, they're eating, and having a good time, enjoying themselves, enjoying the friends, the fellowship. But let's go do something hard.
Right, let's
You know
do
what I'm
it. Let's make
saying?
a difference.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
change.
what. And I'm going to appeal to everybody in that bar
Oh,
to
wow.
come join me. Me and Shahid coming down. We're gonna be down there, and I'm gonna appeal to everybody in that bar to come on with us. We're gonna appeal to everybody in the bar to come with us. And
Well, some of those young people that you had at that last event you invited me to, that line those streets all the way like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We can
they
think about something like we're going to think about how to take it to another
Yes,
level.
that's what we
But
need to
brothers
do.
and sisters, what we're asking you to do, remember what he talked about when people can't go to sleep and people can't eat. I don't, I always tell you to think about somebody in your family, because other than that, you're not going to get it. They miss the picture every time.
that's right.
But if you could start thinking about someone that you know that's homeless or been homeless, and Reverend Wright talks about it all the time, and I like him to talk about it because I'm not embarrassed about it. Me and my mother and my brothers and sisters, when I couldn't have been no more than 4 or 5 years old, so that's a good 60 years. And believe it or not, Miss Martha Harvey is still alive. She's still alive to this day, but we all moved with her, and it was 7 of us, along with it being 8 of them. And we stayed with them 3 years.
And nobody gave her so much a month. We're willing to even help people with their utilities and stuff. She did out of the goodness of her heart.
She did this out of goodness. And that's why I always, when I'm hearing anybody talking about people that are homeless and don't have things, I don't never forget. I don't have amnesia. And that's one of the things we got to stop thinking about. We got it going on and everything is all right. And, nothing, is going to happen to me. I think your grandson just said it. Anybody can have it can be a hurricane. It can be any kind of misfortune. A fire. It can
Lose
be
your
any kind
job.
of misfortune.
When I was,
Speak up loud enough so they can hear it.
a lot of people don't know, but when I was young,
I got you.
Yeah, my mom was in this Bombay Bosley. My mom was she was on a run when I was a child.
Yeah.
So for 3 years,
This is touching him.
Moving like between I think the Cabney. It's a
Yeah.
shelter over there.
Yeah.
We were at the shelter there. We were homeless. Maybe 2 years. I was sleeping. It used to be a dog. There's a dog park there now.
Next to 1411 Locust.
Right.
On
And all of
14th
us,
and
the
Locust.
homeless kids, we used to take baths in that pool. We used to put food
Right.
there.
And they ran the homeless kids out of there, and they brought the dogs in, is what they did in that neighborhood. And they call it clean. I mean, it's just,
So that's why you used to take.
And the little pond thing
That's
was right
deep.
there. Yeah.
that's,
It can, and here's what people don't really think about is just how
Y'all alive.
easy it is in one of the wealthiest countries in the entire world to find yourself in a situation where there's a lot of things out of your control.
Very.
And your shelter being taken away from you, you start to lose part of your core identity, and then our stigmas and the prejudices, the things that we hold against people who are experiencing a really tough time in their life, that's what they pick up. That's what they kind of
Are we ready, Bombay?
live out. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Bombay just gave a hell of a testimony. He said that for 3 years or 2.5 years, they were homeless, and he used to take baths down there where those dogs are now. He just went live
right
with
them
us.
off there.
Yeah, when I was like
You take bath where?
Tell me where you was at down there, 14, 11. Or
It was a Locust
Yeah, when I was a kid,
between
my mom was on a run.
13 and
So,
14.
She was on a run, and we was homeless for like 3 years. She was, first we started off at what was it? It was a shelter on Delmar, and I was like, I think it's Goodfellow and Cabinet or something like that. It's a shelter over there. We was there for a year and a half, and then it was only me and her. So every time we went to a shelter, they would put us out for families who had more kids.
Wow.
So like we would like always have to be out, and like we'd sleep on the side of the dumpster, ate out trash cans, all different
wait.
And, but
See, that's real there.
The biggest memories that I remember is because I worked downtown every day. Right behind the library, it used to be. It's a dog park there right now.
Yes, and that's where the people used to go.
It used to be a little. It used to be a fountain.
Yeah.
And all of us homeless kids, we used to take baths inside that fountain.
And the rich folks moved in the neighborhood, and they don't want, quote, those kind of people in the neighborhood. I mean, you talk about the bigotry.
Right there.
I told you.
Yeah.
They had them dogs, them damn dogs, down there peeing and boo-booing all over the damn place. And the thing about it, they don't even have plastic bags in their hands. You know.
No.
I tell you don't have a bag. What
Yep.
what are you doing? You don't have a bag. Where's your bag?
They don't care.
They don't care. It's money. It's sad. It's sick.
The utility companies have problems working underground where some of these grates on top of the ground, in the ground, have boo-boo and pee from the dogs down in the tunnels.
Yeah.
And the people, the workers, have problems with the stench
Ain't
and
that
the
something?
funk
Yeah.
from these characters. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And they turn their nose up at the homeless.
Yep.
They don't want the homeless down there. They want to be free to walk their dogs. Can you believe? Listen to me. Can you believe they want to be free to walk their dogs?
Yeah.
To get the showers inside of your building, you have to get.
I have to get the signatures from the same neighbors that shut us down because they call it a public bath.
So you already know what's going to happen.
I know for a fact because I work down there.
Yeah.
I work for a business owner down there.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get inside of that. There's a business. There's a business.
It's like a development.
A development thing. It's like 13 different business
Yeah.
owners.
Yeah.
As
Right.
well as property owners.
There's
Talking about
an
in the Globe
association-
building?
No, the
No, it's like-
association, the downtown business association.
They're one of those that sued to try to keep
So
us
they-
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So-
Speak up, say it again. Who was that?
James Page is now the alderman for ward number, I think it's
Five.
Five.
Yes, he's the alderman for our area.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for Tashara, we could have just.
And I
we'd
called his office. I sent him emails. I wanted to meet with James Page. I still do. He won't respond to me. In fact, his office comes and calls me and says, "Oh, we'll set up that meeting." I just want to hear them out. I want to.
So his office called to set up the meeting. They gave you a date and a time, and
They
he
didn't
didn't show.
give me a date. They said he would contact me that day, and he didn't do it.
Okay. Well, we have ways of following up for that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Well, let's
Yes,
talk about it live.
Talk about it a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
All right, y'all, we're going to get started.
Okay.
Let's, quiet on set. Record in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tag a friend and bring him in.
Oh,
Tag a friend, bring him in. Tag him, bring him in. Tag him, bring him in.
like that.
Tag a friend and bring him in. You listen to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. You fired
AM.
up. You fired up
man,
this
yeah,
morning.
so
You fired up this morning.
I got the great Reverend Larry
Yes.
Rice sitting
Yeah.
right here to
Yeah.
my left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got calls. I got calls to be.
It's one of my friends.
So I
my
ought to be.
brothers and
And
friends.
I'm gonna be.
Yeah, ain't no secret.
Well,
ain't
that's
no
what I'm
secret.
talking about.
Yeah.
And so we've been
And
talking
Chris,
about this.
and his grandson.
Chris. Now, I can remember, were you the little guy that was on television that would be talking sometimes?
That's
That
his
mic.
father.
Into the mic.
That was his dad?
That was his dad.
Oh, my God. Yeah, ain't that something? Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Heaven
Well,
bound. Chris's
yeah,
dad
isn't that
did a show
something?
there.
Yeah, well, okay. So I
So
remember.
So he's heading up Springfield and Marshfield area.
Okay.
But as far as learning to run the work here, kind of moved on from that generation and going right to the third generation.
Wow.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
beautiful.
about.
There he is.
That's what I'm talking about.
I felt called and burdened to take the mantle once he's going to pass that down.
That's right.
We're in transition and training right now.
That's
but,
right.
It's been really good.
I might want to add, by the way, they shut down our church. That's what they did. They shut down a church. And we
That's
need to-
lousy.
Where are the
You-
churches?
you
They
can't
closed it
get
down
too lower than that now.
1411 Locust. So what do I do now on Sunday morning? I print my sermon out. load my car with 80 lunches, go around and say, here's the word of God, here's the lunch. Oh, man, they just love the lunch. And this past week, I was shocked at the number of people I saw sleeping on the ground without sleeping bags. So now I got to go next week taking sleeping bags out because they're all over. They lay down on the sidewalk, they lay on the ground, and they don't even have anything to lay on top of right now at this time. And they love hygiene kits. They need toothbrush, toothpaste, razor, deodorant, soap, and washcloth. You put it in a plastic bag because they have no place to shower.
The hygiene kits.
The hygiene kits.
What do you think? Is it possible that we might be able to bring back that public bathhouse?
We have to. But the problem, the brick wall I'm up against is the developer owns what I call it the big white bubble next door to us there, that big condominium building, owns a parking lot next to us and around, and he wouldn't let our people in there to get signatures is a problem, the way the whole system's set up. But I think that if we can get in as a day center, we can make enough noise over the fact that these people need showers, the homeless need showers, and you're denying them the right to be clean. So we're going to have to just fight this time. I had to fight them in Springfield, and now they're working with us.
But this time there'll be more. You have more help this time. I feel it.
I'd like to see the churches wake up. I'd like to see the organizations wake up. I see the bars wake up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's real.
That's right. I think you'll see a lot more energy around this one. Yeah.
Well, I like with this guy, Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday on the march. He left the march and came in front of our place, was marching, hoping to back up.
You remember that?
Yeah,
I sure did.
Yeah.
Well, I believe in you, bro. When I'm with you, I'm with you. And when I'm not with you, then I'm not with you, And what I can't do, that's my prayer going on. What I can't do is play like I'm not with you. Anybody who stands and for God, I don't care who you are. If you're God-fearing, I can respect you. And one of the things I see is you're not just talking this a good talk. You mean what you say. And that's what it's about with me. As long as you stand up and do like what you're doing, I really believe that if Christ was here, Christ would be with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he told us. He said, fox have holes, birds have nests. He, the Son of Man, had nowhere to lay his head. He says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, share in the kingdom of God, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. So there we are. We see we've got a mission. We've got a job to do.
Yes.
But people, you can't play church. You got to be church today.
Yes. Yes.
And I see so many out on the streets on Sunday mornings. It's a wide open. Churches could go out. They're all over. We have to go further and further because they're now in St. Louis County. They're all over. They keep scattering them, and it's hard and find them. But I find people up and down Gravois that I never saw before, up around Kings Highway. There are a couple out there. You think they're panhandling for dope? No, they're panhandling to get a hotel room that night. These hotels are ripping the people off. $60, $70 a night. If they don't get enough money donated to them, they sleep on the street that night. And that's why a lot of these folks are out panhandling. They don't have shelter. And they work from early morning
They're panhandling for a place
to sleep at night. This airport inn down the road here. I mean, what is it, $360, $400 a week to stay there. And they charge whatever they want because that's the new shelter system. So they have to go out on the street, ask for a few dollars all day long just to be able to have a place to sleep at night.
Wow. And just start again the next day.
The next day. It's a day after day.
The counties in St. Louis have designed this to where there are very, very, very few resources out in the county. They want to push them all towards the city. The city's got a lot of resources, but you got to jump through all the hoops to get them.
Right.
But in the county, there's nothing.
We're working with 40 of them that are on street corners in the county right now, plus all the ones in the city.
And there are so many in the county that we don't even know about because we can't find them. They're sleeping in cars. They're sleeping in those hotels. They're this close to being out on the streets. And everybody thinks, well, if you're homeless, you're mentally ill, you're a drug addict, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. You go and try it.
That's working homeless.
You go and try and sleep one night on concrete and then tell me that you're not going to be walking around in a daze.
I mean, if you can hear these stories from these women
that
terrible. Are right now. Candy, African-American woman in her 50s, shot in her arm by her. She thinks her boss was doing dope, and she's in coma 3 weeks, and she's out. She come to us, nowhere to go. I mean, I could tell you horror story after horror story. That one of the secretaries was living in the car with her son. They're going to take her son away from him, then somebody stole the car. I mean, each one of them coming to these situations. But we're filling up our safe houses. Now I need people that if they have an extra room, we'll even help them, like I said, toward their bills. If they'll just open that room, and we'll screen the people before they come in, let them stay with us a few days, we'll let them meet them, and it will help them, and they'll grow. They'll grow so much. Again, Anthony was talking about how his family went and stayed with this lady. He learned from
Martha Harvey.
From her, yes.
It's Martha Harvey.
Yes.
Hospitality is one of the best ways to really help break the cycle of homelessness because you build relationships. It takes a village. It doesn't just take one organization. We need everybody to get involved to help.
Let's talk about October 22nd again. Okay. So, what are we going to do?
So on October 22nd, we are going to intentionally make ourselves uncomfortable to experience what it's like to be homeless. While teams are going out downtown doing street outreach, you're going to be engaging wherever you're at. We understand you might not be able to make it downtown. If you want to come and help us out, please do. But we want to make this a safe event too, and we understand that some people can't do that. You can still get involved. And so we're going to intentionally make ourselves uncomfortable. We're going to have hard, good conversations about what the realities are for people who are experiencing homelessness. And this is geared towards trying to activate young people and getting involved in the work. It's geared towards doing some new technology type things. So New Life has never done a virtual event like this on this scale. It's going to be big, exciting. We need you to get involved.
So what time are we assembling?
So at 8 p.m. and downtown, we've got 2 different teams that will be going out. We'll be doing Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We'll be flipping back and forth.
They'll also be in Springfield, other places too.
Yeah.
Have you checked what housing costs are lately? I mean, we're on the verge right now of a tremendous collapse in this country. I mean, the housing cost, like I said, I used to get safe houses, 25, 30, 35, 40,000. Now you got 75,000. You can't even find a 3-bedroom home anymore. Right. I mean, the costs are going way out of sight. Rental costs are going up. These speculators are buying up properties. Things you could use to rent for $400, $500 a month are now $800, $1,000 a month. Everything. Mothers, children. I mean, it's so many, one paycheck away from being homeless.
And food is going up.
Food's going up too.
Food is going up.
I spend hundreds of dollars a week just trying to get sandwiches made for the people. And
I'm trying to tell you.
Thousands.
Well, I want to applaud 50. You say just about 50 years. When is that date? You've been.
In January, we're going to be at this 50 years.
January 20th is the official birthday. On January 22nd, we're going to be having a very special kickoff event for the whole year of celebrating the 50th anniversary of New Life.
Yeah, I want to really be a part of that in a strong way. And I really want to work with. That's one of the reasons we got to tie into these young people because they know how to use this. They got some stuff called TikTok or something.
TikTok.
TikTok. They got some stuff. Well, I don't know about that stuff.
Like
they got
some stuff. I don't know anything about that.
None of, that's all right. I ain't embarrassed though. And then they
I just see the crazy stuff they do on there, climbing on mark carts.
Because like earlier you were talking about the stigmatization around why people think that people are homeless.
Yeah.
And you could definitely use some social media platforms to like start working toward like against that.
That'd be great.
Start sharing people's stories and like
testimonials.
Where they came from and why they've ended up on the streets.
You need to start doing that, Chris. That'd be
So
great. Because I've never used TikTok. I mean, we use all the other things, but not TikTok. So hey, how do you get into TikTok?
So you all gonna be with us on the 22nd?
Yes, I got to get.
I don't know if
you need to get out that dormitory and get downtown.
Well, wherever you're at, you can camp out.
Yeah.
Go out in the backyard and be a part.
We're gonna reach out to their parents and whatever it takes, because I really want to push young people. They have to. That's one of the things that Dr. King really did when they act like they wasn't listening. Not only did he bring those women out, but he brought children out because he wanted to shape their conscience. But he figured, y'all just act like y'all just don't get it. So let me show you better than I can tell you. And when young people came out, look how young they look. I keep on that merit. Look how young they look. Yeah.
Well, that's what turned the whole civil rights course around. When they had the Children's March and came out with the water guns and everything else. Up to then, he was admitted it was going a whole lot.
Yes, that's
looked like it bottomed out, and then all the young folks came out and things turned around.
So 50 years is a lot to me, and I know most people can't do something for 50 weeks or so 50 days. So to be steady fast for 50 years. And now a third generation is coming up. That means something. That's worth its weight in gold. So
that's right.
I want to publicly thank you for what God has placed on your heart. I know you. I know your wife. I know the other ones around there. And
Deborah, thank God for her.
We're gonna push you. Me and Mary Bosley gonna do everything that we can, especially for the 22nd, but also when the 20th of January comes, we're gonna be
Okay,
Because
that'd be
Mayor
good.
Bosley, he was excited like I was, because when he said Reverend Rice, I said, oh, you caught the
Yeah,
Rev?
I got it.
And he showed, so he said,
got
hey,
it.
Shahid, I tell you what, I'm going to be like Lou Roth. I see him when he get there.
Yeah.
Here.
Now, when I was in office, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we had what you call our organization had different committees and various committees, and we were chairpersons of this committee on hunger and homelessness. Now, at that time, this is well over 30 years ago, the studies that we had done were showing that 1 out of every 10 people would wake up in the morning trying to figure out where they're going to get something to eat.
Yes.
So now, what do you think that number is now?
I think it's higher.
Oh, of course.
I think it's a lot higher. So the statistics in 2020, and this is before the pandemic,
Yes.
in the United States, there were 580,000 people experiencing homelessness.
That's the ones they count it.
That's
I
the
don't
one that
agree
they
with the
count
government
them.
counts.
That's the
I
one
think
that the
it's-
government counts, and
I
that's
think
how they
it's-
allocate their money. But this,
580.
580,000.
I think it's
guarantee
supposed more like
you-
5 million.
Yeah,
I
do
guarantee
too.
you, it's a whole lot more higher.
We
than
got
that,
damn near
especially-
580,000 here.
Yeah, right. You can't
It's-
tag them like geese and find them
especially with the pandemic. There's so many new faces who are
Yeah.
entering the system.
A lot of them are veterans. You run into a lot
Yes.
of veterans that are out there. They were willing to fight for this country. They've got post-traumatic stress syndrome while they were out there. All
Right.
these things, they fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
They're the ones camping out. But every time a camp is built, it seems like it's been destroyed. I can cite camp after camp in St. Louis area. Where are they going to go? Anthony brought up sleep deprivation. You can go without maybe exercise for a few years, get away with it. You can go without eating for a few weeks. Can't go without water for about a few days.
Yeah.
But you try going night after night
sleep
without
energy.
sleep, and your sleep is constantly interrupted. Sleep deprivation comes in. You can't think straight. A lot of them are in city jail right now because just reacting out of frustration and anger. And that's happening every night, day after day, in the 90 municipalities in St. Louis County, all over St. Louis City. And we hadn't said anything about Illinois, all over St. Charles County. I mean, there's so many that are
You
homeless.
know what I think about when he started talking about St. Louis County and how bad it's out there? That's Sam Page, but if you find out who his consultant is, that's Rich Callow. Ain't no secret. I'm not gonna never get up off of it. I'm keeping it real. It's always something because they didn't had a problem with Reverend Rice for a while. This ain't just started.
Oh, no. No.
See, and what you got to
Many
do is
years.
understand an elephant don't forget. And the mere fact that he's down there and he's really embarrassing them, that's really what he's doing because he's really showing them up. When you're talking about, and here's this, and we just keeping it real. Most of everybody he's dealing with, I mean, he deal with white folks too, but he's dealing with mostly black folks. He's really embarrassing them. And it really is it's an indictment against each one of those administrations that sit and let the business people do what they're doing. Because really, business people really follow the lead of a mayor, for real. You know, because the mayor has a big, strong voice, and he can decide, what's going to happen and what's not. The mere fact that group there, because I was down there, one reason I keep talking about it, because I was at the board meeting with you.
Yeah.
When I started talking about homeless lives matter, but
Board
we
of Public Service.
I bet you we done been together 25 times, and every time I look up, I seen how they plotted against this man. I'm telling you, they ain't just started. So y'all keep on hearing me talking about this. It just so happened I've been talking about Rich Callow, but I'm telling you, they have been plotting against you for the longest, bro. Because anytime you want to be somebody's boy,
Drive down in front of 1411 Locust.
stand in front of that mic. I want them to hear you.
They took all the parking meters out. Just
I-
by
yeah, they
1411
did. I
Locust.
remember that.
Took all the parking meters out, okay? Put up signs, you can't loiter here. Don't drop off donations here, okay? They did
like-
everything they could.
Yeah, now why would they want to stop you from receiving a donation?
Why you think?
That was Francis Slay.
That's-
At
I'm
Thanksgiving, he posted cops there and made them all
I
walk
never
all to the
forget
corner,
that.
never back and forth.
I never forget that.
Yep.
I was down. I'm telling you. See, the stuff he talking about. Reason I'm talking about like this, I ain't talking about what I read. I was down there with him.
It's pure raw bigotry. If anybody does not believe that there's bigotry and injustice and prejudice, go down there and look. 1411 Locust, shut down a church, won't let them, no parking put up there, no loitering, no standing, keep moving, and you can see it. But where's the outcry?
We know that when you're doing the right thing, you're going to have people who hate you for doing the right thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? But at the same time, we can't ever stop.
No, you
We
can't.
know that there's so much injustice, especially revolving around homelessness, and we got to be there, the voice for the people who don't have a voice.
They stick the police on them, man.
Yeah.
So tell me about how they had the doggone police stand there. If somebody came to try to give them anything,
Yeah, the police wouldn't say you can't park here.
I'm
Keep
sitting
moving
there,
on.
I'm sitting there
Run
looking
it
at
off.
this stuff, man.
And
You know,
run 'em off.
they
Yeah.
go out their way. See, it's one thing to do something, but when you go out your way to try to help, and you remember what you talking about? You talking about women?
Oh,
You
yes,
talking about children?
women
You
and
talking
kids out
about
there.
older people? You talking about people
Totally.
who losing their toes and
Yeah.
then you talking about they crazy. Hell, I can see you damn going crazy if you're losing toes and feet and you're hungry and can't go to sleep. Hell, if you had some good sense, hell, you could damn start losing it.
And if you have diabetes, how do you keep your insulin cold? She couldn't take her insulin, so she has her foot off now. And so
Oh,
she has
God.
one foot and had to sleep in front of the library for like 2 months, night after night, crawling down out of that wheelchair, sleeping on the ground, crawling, and then going
people
to the
some.
university. So I'm telling this is a good woman.
They
and
lower
if
than the
anybody's
buzzard.
got a room and they're handicapped accessible, I'll introduce them to Sylvia, and I'll be even willing to help donate $125 a week if they'd help her because she's just trying to get her education completed by December.
So let's get that date out again. That's
Go
the
ahead.
22nd,
October
October
22nd,
Come
8
on,
p.m.
8 p.m. The
Yes.
22nd, 8
October
p.m.
22nd is going to be a really historic, exciting event. It's going to challenge you to think about things in a different way. It's going to challenge you, make you feel a little uncomfortable, to get into a frame of mind that so many men and women are in all the time, and they don't have the choice. They can't wake up and say, you know what, I want to go to bed in my comfortable bed. I want to take a shower. I
Yep.
want to use the bathroom
Right.
without being
That's
moved
right.
on.
That's right.
I want to make myself some food whenever
Yep.
I want. There's just
I just
so
want to
many
sit
things.
back and relax.
Yeah, I just want to sit back, watch some TV.
Right.
I want to go to the store. I'll hop in my car.
I
We
wanna
are
do it
so
I
privileged that we
want-
can't even.
I want to do what normal people do for a change. I don't want to just because of a situation happen to y'all dog me. And that's why you got to call 314-421-3020. You got to dial that number, 314. Say it. I want everybody to say it.
421 3020.
I can't hear it. Say it again.
421
Yeah.
3020.
I want
3020.
everybody to, I want to hear y'all. 421.
421
Yeah.
3020.
3020.
One more
Alright,
time.
so
I can't hear you both. 2
421 3020.
3020. There
Yeah.
you go.
See,
All
see,
right.
we
All
gonna
that, get involved today because there's such a great need. We need people to get
And
involved.
not only the homeless, the families homeless come through. They've shut down mental health programs, and parents don't know what to do with their child. They're scared to call the police because the police may shoot them. I mean, this is the world we live in today. We need to seek compassion. People have a lot of problems. Let's help one another, and let's let God's love flow through us. Let's not just talk about it. Let's do it.
Reverend Rice, I want to thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing your grandson. I know you're very proud of him. I can see you just bright, just glowing because he's here. So we want to thank you. We're going to join you on October
bless you.
22nd, and we're going to talk about this event a couple of more times
gonna do-
before it
right.
comes up.
You got it.
So we got to go. But we want to let you know.
Come on.
You're listening to the Freeman
on
Bosley
with
Jr. Show on KATZ
Don't play with me.
1600. Hallelujah.
Come on.
AM.
Come on.
Keep it on lock. Quick. Play it.
That's how we get down around here.
Yeah.
Ain't no Millie Mouth around here. Not when it's talking about homeless people.
Yeah.
Not when we know somebody's attacking
Yeah.
this brother here straight out.
Yeah.
Not when you close down a church.
Close
See,
down
you're
the
lower
church.
than a buzzard. This brother Shaheed speaking again because, I don't know how to tiptoe to the tulip. I never practiced those guys. I never worked on sambo, have you heard? I never knew how to do none of that stuff. Ain't trying to learn it. When you come against homeless people, then you got a problem with us. And we're going to keep this out there. We're going to go to the zone. We're going to go everywhere we can. We're going to deal with every young group of people. We're going to go to Harrisville College.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit some of the schools. We want as many young people that we can to come out because until we understand, until everybody's free, ain't nobody's free.
Yeah.
You know,
And when Freeman was mayor, he got Christ Church to open up for those women and
That's right.
kids there.
Remember that?
Sitting there, he was doing something. Slay got in there. It's all shut
Nothing.
down. It's
Nothing.
all down. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
If
much.
you could just give me a picture of the flyer, I'll reproduce it myself.
If you've got an email, I can send it to you.
Okay.
tomorrow.
Y'all be talking until we come back.
I got it. We got
Can
the
y'all
email.
be talking? Y'all keep,
I'll send you
keep those-
digital
everybody,
files
we're
of
still
all
live.
the different.
Yeah, come over and start talking. 'Cause we live while I walk them out. Come on over here. You take my seat. You take this one. We live.
Live on YouTube and Facebook. So, hey.
Turn that back around. Keep it.
So you know what the interesting thing about it? Like,
Talk loud enough.
have you seen the
Have I seen the?
Have you seen like the no begging signs around St. Louis City?
No, I haven't yet.
Like we literally paid hundreds of dollars for like an entire like strategy.
I mean, I think it's interesting because they were talking about social media earlier and the ways that it can help with things, but it's also like the longevity of what's happening on social media. It doesn't last that long. So when they were talking about 50 years of him doing this, it's been interesting because you saw that like in 2015, 2016, there was a lot of people talking about our homeless population and the way that we're treating them because there was a rise in anti-homeless architecture.
Well, there still is, especially in St.
and you
Louis
don't
City.
see people talking about that anymore
That is
because the
true.
longevity of social media, it's not there anymore.
Like it's like Black Lives Matter. Like it's not.
It
really,
is, and
if trends fall off.
it's upsetting. It's upsetting because you see people talk about that and they talk about it as if it was a trend, but there are still people who are working towards it. It's just not what the media wants to see anymore.
Right. I just like a big thing for me has been like the criminalization of like homelessness like everywhere though. Like especially like I saw in Austin where they just passed an initiative where they like criminalized homelessness as well.
Well, this is something that one of my classes has said to hear about a lot from me, but I think that we need to stop focusing on nonviolent crimes.
Most definitely. And being unhoused is not a crime.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. Like they chose to be out there by themselves.
But we treat being unhoused like it's a crime.
Yeah.
And like as we were saying, that was Mayor Slay. That was Mayor Lyra Crease. And there are a lot of people in other places that like want to do the same thing and to further like, and I remember like seeing the photos of them like clearing out that St. Patrick's housing encampment there. If you like, have you seen those photos?
No, I
I'm
haven't.
gonna have to show you that. And it's really brutal because it's like there are like all these SLMPD officers like smiling as they're like removing people from this spot where they're sleeping, and it's like where else are they supposed to sleep? Then they also continuously do that outside City Hall, where they literally just destroy these housing encampments that really hurt people. So,
Sorry, I'm thinking about it. I went on a family vacation to LA because I have family out there. What's that really rich part of LA called?
You're talking about Skid Row?
I think so. It was interesting. We drove through there, and it's interesting how they have anti-homelessness just built into their like infrastructure, and the ways that they have all of these fruit trees that are just for show. So they have spikes up at the top of the fences so nobody can like get them without injuring themselves. The way that in the spaces that people could possibly sleep in that are like under overhangs or something, there are spikes and stuff there.
Or have you seen like the benches with loops on them?
Yeah. So it's not like so they don't have enough space to actually like lay down on them.
Exactly. Or at the bus stops now, they're starting to like not put in the regular bench at bus stops, like they're doing here at Metro St. Louis too now, like where they don't even allow the unhoused to sleep at the bus stops anymore, and that's like
they've been taking away benches.
It is that is beyond me. That is legitimately crazy. So
what I want y'all to do, keep talking, but I want y'all to help me with the last two segments. Y'all gonna help. I told him I want y'all. Y'all gonna take this to another level.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that's how impressed we are. That's how impressed we are. So
you
y'all
don't get these stories before though, right?
What does she want from me?
Read that.
Okay.
So we're gonna be ready in about 1 minute. So
Okay.
let's get ready. I want y'all to talk. I want y'all. That's what I'm gonna let the people know that. I've been talking about this for the longest.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the McCloskeys.
We talk about everything.
We're gonna talk about the
Come on,
McCloskeys.
you wanna
I got
talk-
a lot to say about the
come-
McCloskeys. Can we go there first?
We can go anywhere
Let's
y'all
go
want to
there
go.
first.
You about to drop everything.
Save me. Let's go to the McCloskeys, cause
Hey, Boski, I think I'm liking them. So.
I'm digging it.
these people.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to bring them on my show.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Let's get those microphones in some places where
I
they
just-
won't actually be in your face like yours. And what's your name?
Nia.
Marquise.
Okay, so Nia, your microphone is smack dab in your face. Can you see? Right?
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
You can actually move it like kind of sideways. That way, like move the whole microphone. Go. Yeah, there we go. And then move it up so it could just be boom. That's perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's move the mic up a little bit so you can talk into it. There we go. sure it's good.
Okay. You want me to just
Brothers and sisters, thank y'all for being so patient with us. I got 2 young people here, and we're definitely not pushing young people. I told them what I wanted to do. They sit back and watch. There's no more watching now. The gloves are off. It's time to get busy.
do you want to read the story?
I don't have to read the story. You're going to read the story, and we're going to talk about it. I know about the McCluskeys.
Okay, I do too.
I don't have to read the story.
I do too. I was there.
Okay. Beautiful. So it's even better.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get ready.
You're
You ready?
Please.
You ready?
okay.
He's going to count down, so we're going to go back on the radio now.
Okay.
All right.
Saturday morning, remember. Morning.
Quiet on set. Recording in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back. You're on the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. We done had I'm talking about a very, very exciting show today. This morning so far, we've had Reverend Rice just to leave, him and his grandson, Chris, and I was able to get Nia and Brother Marquise to stay on, and we're excited about this right here. So Mayor Bosley say, hey, they taking charge, Shaheed, let them take charge. So I think, Brother Marquise, I think you said you seen something that you want to talk about, and I believe you said you were there?
Yes.
At the age of 18, you was there?
I was actually 17 when this happened.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Because remember, I want people this morning to understand they listening to. Tell them who you are, Marquise, this morning. You here with us this
My name
Saturday
is
morning.
Marquise Govan. I'm a student at
Go slow. I want to be real clear. Your name is
I'm a social.
Speak up.
I'm a social work student at SLU, and I do a lot of community activism within.
And what is
St.
your
Louis.
name again?
Marquise Govan.
Okay. Jump. And who's with you?
Nia
You don't know my last name, do you?
Neville. There we go.
Neville.
I want y'all to speak right into this mic. I want y'all so clear because I want the people to hear y'all.
Okay.
Tell me what you're talking about this
So
morning.
we're gonna be talking about the McCloskeys.
Real loud.
We're gonna be talking about the McCloskeys. The court has asked. There's a court that's asked to suspend the law license of the gun waving couple. They were. I don't know if folks remember the picture of them with the mustard stain on the shirt outside of their house as protesters. We were marching to the mayor's house to demand that she resign because she released the private information of several St. Louis activists who had asked her to enact certain police reform.
Correct. So she went back. We're talking about lighter cruising.
Lighter cruising,
At
yes,
that point.
Yeah.
That's when you were 17, so that was a little while ago.
Yeah.
Not in a whole long time ago, but it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
And y'all were absolutely out there protesting because she had the audacity to give people personal information out their home, their address and everything. So we say, since you feel like giving somebody a home address, let's come to your home.
Yeah.
And y'all went there by #1 Portland place, right across from Shrives, with another racist
She
group
lives,
of
and
people.
they live in a very bougie part of the city. I want to make sure everybody knows that.
What do you
that
mean by bougie? I want to just in case
They
somebody
live in one of the wealthiest parts of the city. They live in a temple, a literal temple. It's called a temple. Like it is.
Really?
The name of it is it's the something temple. It's like the Masonic temple or something.
Wow.
It is. They're up there in terms of like their pay grade.
Wow.
And in fact, I don't know if folks know that Mark McCloskey is running for United States Senate.
Yeah.
And it's sad because you have a group of folk they have this whole narrative of if you stand up to the mob, the rioters, it's always the black folks. They're aggressive, they're angry,
Quote unquote.
Yeah,
Quote unquote.
White, it's called white privilege. Keep on going, but that's what you call white privilege. Because
Yeah.
I promise you, if me and you would have had some guns anywhere around
almost definitely.
on some white folks,
Yeah,
some straight, real white folks, I promise you, you wouldn't got no pardon from no president of the United States and asked to speak at the Republicans'
National convention.
National convention.
Yes.
I promise you that wouldn't happen.
I
You
mean,
need
that's
to
when
kneel-
they started regulating gun usage, when specifically like the
Black
Black
people started
Panthers
using them.
were
Yeah.
starting to arm themselves, just like white people
California,
were.
Doing Ronald Reagan. Look at you. Y'all know, I'm going to tell you, I'm really impressed that young people, and you don't mind giving your ages out, y'all are both 18 years old,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
and y'all are handling y'all business. Man, Bobby sit back and say, Shaheed, what have you done did? I said, brother, man, I done reached out to some young people, and I want to hear from young people. We want to see what it is that we're missing. And the mere fact you said at the age of 17 years old,
yeah.
you are protesting.
Well, I lived through Mike Brown, and so I had to be in it in that moment.
A little loud. I want you real loud.
I had to be in it in that moment, and I had to respond to what we were going through at that time. And I just want to say, we wouldn't have been marching to the mayor's house had Lyda Crewson had the nerve and the gall to stand up to Jeff Rorta and the Jane Dukies of the world.
Jeff Rorta.
These aggressive,
But I want you to learn another name. Jeff Rorta is nothing to play with. He's sneaky.
Oh, of course.
He's slimy. But the worst slime of all slime, around slime, time slime, is Jeff Rorta. I mean, it's Rich Callow. It's Rich Callow.
Rich Callow.
Yeah, but what I want y'all young people to start doing is Googling this guy and find out.
I know who Richard Callow is.
You're familiar with Rich Callow? Mm-hmm. He's beyond. A buzzard is very low. He's lower than a buzzard. And this is my opinion. He's lower than a buzzard because of the things he does against the black community consistently and continually. Every time anything has happened under Shamos, under Francis Slade, or under Lyda Crewson, he was behind it. He even was the puppet behind he wasn't a black man, they call him that, Francis, no, I'm using his name again, Harmon.
Harmon, okay.
Clarence Harmon, he was just black in color.
Yeah, was he really a black mayor?
No. He was what you call an Oreo cookie. Yeah. He wasn't even really an Oreo cookie. He was really like a vanilla cookie, but it might have had one on one side. You had the black on there. That's duplex. They call it a duplex. Yeah. Black on one side, white, and then white cookie on the other side. So that's kind of where he was, which is no good at all. But he was shrewd enough that when Mayor Bosley first got into office, the first week, he started the first group to come against Mayor Bosley, and he used his puppet, Clarence Harmon. Clarence Harmon did everything white folks told him when he was in office, and as soon as he got in there, he did a switch around because they knew Francis Slade was going to run. Yeah. Now remember, he was the best jigaboo that they could find. They didn't have a better a buckwheat or shine than him. He did everything the white folks said for the white folks told him. They said, do what I told you and go where I show you. When I tell you to jump, don't ask me how high. When you get there, I'll let you know. And when it came to running against Francis Slade, Rich Callow, and I want y'all to Google this and you'll see, did a move on him and brought out everything dirty that he thought he did or knew about him. He reminded me of J. Hoover. J. Hoover had he was the FBI director for the United States, for the FBI. But they gave him a vacuum cleaner with his name Hoover. Most people don't know that because the Hoover vacuum cleaner always sucked up dirt. So Jagger Hoover always went and got dirt on people. This is the same thing Rich Callow did, and he unleashed all the dirt that Harmon had on him, even though he used Harmon to get in there and had Harmon doing all the dirt. Yeah. So I just want y'all to know, Jeff Rankford ain't no good. Wherever you see Jeff Rankford at, you got to watch him. Oh. I promise you. What do you know about Jeff Rankford anyway?
Okay, first of all, I know Richard Callow with the one with Republic Services, which has to do with the Westlake landfill.
You know about the landfill there? He's definitely the spokesman for them too.
And then who else did you just name?
Jeff Rankford.
Rainford was the one.
He was the chief of staff for Francis Slade.
I've seen some stuff about him on Twitter as well.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you, that's why they wind up leaving out of office. All of them left out because they got caught with their drawers down tripping when Anthony Lamar Smith got killed and they tried to cover it up. Yeah. And that's what made them had to get up out of there. But I'm really impressed with both of y'all. Young lady, I want to hear more from you now and what are young people doing, especially young women. Help me kind of think about what we need to do and what kind of help do you need from us. You got a lot of people listening to you. It's going to be a lot of people listening on this radio, I promise you. A lot of people listen to 1600. A lot of people listen to Mary Bosley's page. A lot of people listen to, right now, you're live on my page. People are listening. Help us to know what young ladies want, what they need. How can we help young people?
So a very big topic right now in the United States, especially relevant to young women, is reproductive rights and what's happening right now. We just saw the heartbeat bill pass in Texas and the way that they have been incentivizing people to help further that, to ensure that there is no access to abortion or anything like else like that. And I think that it's important that we have like conversations around why things like abortions are necessary, because I feel like we don't really ever get to the root of the problem when talking about abortion. It's because we don't have good sex education. And we take these places like Planned Parenthood that are giving out good sex education and are also doing other women's health stuff that is not just abortion, and we shut them down. So what's currently happening in Missouri right now is they're trying to bring the heartbeat bill here, the same one that was passed in Texas, Missouri, and Florida are focusing on this right now. And if it passes in either of those places, it's definitely going to be something that we see happening in a lot of red states right now. And we are not moving forward with anything to help our young women still. We're just putting them in more dangerous situations, because passing a bill like this is not going to stop abortion. It's just going to make people go towards more unsafe methods.
Jump in there. I'm really impressed. I mean, y'all, hey, Bosley, I don't know what's happening, but they taking me out.
So,
they shake, riding, and rolling.
They smarter than me.
Well, it's definitely, you keep saying we're smart for young people, but it's definitely something that we feel a need to have still.
And I'm not saying that disrespectful.
No, but it feels like there's a bigger push for younger people to be more involved at younger ages, because it feels like we have so little time with everything that's happening so far.
Like, and not only that, I feel like a lot of the issues that we are facing right now is like, you know, there are so many things that are so becoming prevalent for younger people. Like a lot of older folks aren't thinking about the climate crisis. But what I know right now, you see, you know,
this isn't gonna last long if we keep going like this.
Not. Like the water is like, there are fires going on in water. Like that doesn't even work right. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are thousands of miles are burning, places that normally don't flood are flooding.
The Great Barrier Reef is dead.
Yeah, and we haven't even reached the greatest part of that. Like, you know, the worst of that is coming for us. And not only that, you have this white nationalist movement that powered Trump to power that is now threatening the very like essence of democracy in this country. On top of that, like, you know, rolling back the tide on women's reproductive health.
Yes.
Like
voting rights.
Voting rights. Like the basic fundamentals are like being taxed onto us so early now. And it is honestly out of this world.
So we have to get involved, or we have to watch the world that we want to grow up in, and hopefully have our own children grow up in, like, get destroyed around us.
I want y'all this morning to listen to young people, and that's why we have to invest in them. These young people are so sharp. And when do you hear young people talking on the level and talking on subjects, I mean, and well-versed? They ain't like reading something off a proctor or nothing. They're coming off the proctor of their brain. And this is beautiful, you know, and I really meant when I said to Marquise, I want to start young people doing more. Mayor Bosley gave us a chance. I really want to give y'all a chance. I want to give you and any young people that you have once a week, once every 2 weeks. Y'all tell me what time y'all got. If it can't be you, I want some young people here so this listening audience can understand what it is that we need to do, because we have a lot of contacts and connections, and maybe some things we can do to help, because at some point, you know, I noticed trees, the leaves start coming off of them. There's certain trees that very few of them that leaves don't come off. That means the old have to make way for the new. And whether we want to do it willingly or unwillingly, we'll die out for something. So it's time to make sure that y'all are prepared. You be right here with us, and when we start seeing things, that's why when Reverend Rice was here, I didn't want y'all to leave, because I already knew what I was going to do. I want y'all to come on over here. You know, so brothers and sisters in the listener, I'm going to flip it back to them, because I want them to just, I'm not trying to, this is y'all show right now. Y'all going to take the remainder of this, and then you're going to take the next segment, which we have 10 minutes, and y'all going to close it out. So whatever you want to talk about, it can be what you see up there, or it can be talking about what it is. I know that y'all are always on this social media.
I mean, that's part of it too. We're exposed to so much right now because of social media.
Is that good or bad?
Both.
It comes with it. If you don't know how to handle it, if you don't have like the proper precautions in place, it's going to be overwhelming. Yeah. Because they're going to be like, look,
overwhelming.
It does get overwhelming sometimes. And I remember because like I also was very involved in the protests when Oh, I'm forgetting names.
Anthony Lamar.
Sorry,
George
George
Floyd.
Floyd and Breonna Taylor. In the peak of that, I was helping organize protests.
That's really nice. I like this.
You can, and you see all of what's happening, and you look at the news and what you're trying to do in real life still, and you see how little is changing, and it gets overwhelming. Right. And then you see all of the other problems that you haven't been able to get to yet, and you're not helping, and it's overwhelming because you're like, look at all of these bad things that are happening.
And they constantly reinforce over and over again. Like you
keep
see
loud. I want you to be loud.
You don't see the change coming with those bad things happening. And you're like, what can I do to help this as a singular person? It gets overwhelming.
Most definitely.
Was this one of the first ones you got involved in, Breonna Taylor and George Floyd? Or had you been before then? Or when did you first start getting conscious?
I've definitely always been conscious. It's definitely been something that my family has emphasized on from my very childhood. My aunt, shout out to her, taught me how to love learning.
Shout out to you, Auntie.
My auntie Josette, Jonette Ford. She teaches down at Frederick Douglass High School, the principal of the high school.
Talking about.
Yep, my mom is the principal of there.
Okay.
So they grew up in education, and they grew up seeing what these kids were struggling with.
Beautiful.
And then I was also in those classrooms helping them there. Like, I went to my mom's school, and they had opportunities for me to help out with the English language learners there and some of the things that they were exposed to. I was helping out in the daycares. I was helping out in the preschools, and I was watching the projects that my mom was doing growing up. She started the Flourish Initiative recently, which is a project.
Slow it up. The what?
Flourish Initiative. Okay. So I think they're partnered with Veterans United, and she made a shelter or a home for her homeless students that had been couch surfing. So my mom has always been very involved in the students that she has in her school. It goes beyond just their education. What are they doing after their education? I know that a lot of people have been against officers in schools, but with the officers that they have in Frederick Douglass High, those are people that those students know that they can go to if they ever have an emergency outside of school. How are they getting jobs? Do they have little siblings that need to be taken care of? Where are they sleeping? What are they eating? So seeing that involvement growing up has always made me want to be able to help people like them.
I am so happy you made one statement, but so many other statements, but you're talking about police, and you said, in other words, that was a good thing that they were there and they felt comfortable with them. And that means, so brothers and sisters, you just heard some young people that said they've been protesting, but they don't have a problem with all police.
Exactly.
Because all police aren't bad. And we're not, and I've said it for the longest, just for the record, I'm not against police. I'm against bad police.
Me too.
And if you're a bad police, I don't care who you are. And I called them out. Y'all have heard me call out Sergeant Todd Ross, who's black, but he's really not black. He want to play black. Who does boot licking and butt licking and buck dancing and buck jumping. And when I see buck dancers like that, anytime I see a black man stand up for a white boy, Lieutenant Colonel Lakeshaw, who was a drug dealer in the black community, put drugs and dope on black people, and would stand up for him. I always was willing to protect him. Then I have to call that out. When I see a Lieutenant Colonel Mary Warnke, who's over all the division, over Mobile Reserve, they call it MR, they call it SWAT, they call it the K9, they call it traffic, they call it what they call soft clothes. When I see somebody over all the district, but they are racist, she's over like 75 or 80% of the department. When I hear about a Larry O'Toole, I'm talking about stone racist. See, I have to call them out, but it's a whole lot of good police officers out there that I know for a fact, and we want to shout them out from time to time, like Sergeant Heather Teller. She just retired, and she's over the public safety assistant director now.
From ESOP.
From Ethical Society.
Okay, gotcha.
She's a very good, powerful sister.
Mm-hmm.
Strong, stand up for black people, and gonna say what needs to be said. Chief Sharif, he's a police officer in Norwoods now. He's a chief of police. He just got the position as chief of police. I'm talking about real good police officers. I know Roxanne Ali. I know a whole lot of good black police. My problem is...
I'm not even talking about black police officers in her school, though. Those are some of the white police officers. They were thinking about getting rid of security officers in schools, and they had children standing up for white male police officers to keep them there.
But my thing, it doesn't like sit on the fact, like I think there's this argument that people are anti-police. I'm not anti-police.
I want you loud.
I'm anti-over-policing. I'm anti-militarization of the police. I'm anti-oppression and violence that police officers use within black communities in particular.
He's very naturally quiet.
It is like this big thing in terms of like the way that we have policed black communities, particularly here in the St. Louis area historically. Like we have one of the most historically racist police departments in the entire country.
Well, the thing is that when you find those good people, they're still in a system that was founded on racism.
Most definitely.
Because for Como 200, when they were celebrating the 200-year anniversary of the creation of Columbia, I was forced to do a project for one of my history classes, and we were researching like different topics about like the founding of certain things in Columbia, and I was looking at the founding of the police officers, and you look at the way those like slave catcher badges became police badges. But you look at where it stems from, and it's hard to try and fix something that was built on a broken foundation. You're right. And our police system was built on a broken foundation. So it almost feels sometimes like it doesn't matter how many good people come in unless we are able to redo the whole system.
And I want us to retrace that lineage first, because a lot of people don't know that. But like our modern day police officers find their roots in slave catchers.
Yes.
Not only that, but they also find their roots in the southern sheriffs who watched as black people and black folks, particularly black men, were lynched in the South. They watched, and if not perpetrated, that happened.
And I'm gonna tell you the worst thing it is when a black man stands up there and do it. See, we know what white folks will do, but that was one of the problems I had with Steve Harmon when he was trying to run for the position that Sister Kim Gardner had.
Circuit attorney. When I found out he was trying to run, knowing his history, this was Clarence Harmon's son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is something I know a whole lot about.
Gotcha.
Right now, he's over the Bar Association. I don't know how the hell he pulled that, but he's slick. But he always want to talk a good black talk, but I just keep it real. If it's somebody y'all know, that's fine. What I don't do is sugarcoat nothing. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a person standing back, and sometimes they would use the black person to do the whooping on the plantation. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you sit and looked at him and wouldn't understand why he was doing it, but some of them enjoyed it. And that's what my problem is. The next problem I have is against police. The good ones won't speak out against the bad ones because they have a code of silence. And in the code of silence, if they tell what another police officer do, they become known as a rat. If you become a rat anywhere in the police department, you're in trouble. So y'all gonna help me do the last segment because I say he just gave us the 1 minute signal. So we got like 30 seconds. So we got 30 seconds here. So y'all gotta help me close it out. Okay. Mm-hmm. So help me close it out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn on y'all. You've been listening to the Freeman Bosley show this morning, and we want you to keep it on lock and stop playing. Hey y'all, this group here, hey brother Boski, you gotta keep it real. Stand up for a minute. You got to keep this real. Hey, Boski, this is the real deal here.
They the real deal.
This is, and what I want you to, this is not staged. What I want you to say, because they don't know, they just got here. Yeah. This is not staged. This ain't something we rehearsed. We didn't go over this with them like 15 or 20 times. We didn't get them come here 2 days a week and then say this is what we going to. This is
their first time. This is their first time ever coming to the Freeman Bosley Jr. show. I'm not sure if they were even prepared.
No. Marquise just gave me a vague, hey, do you want to come with me to this thing?
I didn't know, like, I've listened to, my grandmother was an avid listener when I was a child, but I haven't listened in probably a couple of years. But I do know, I knew who Brother She was. That's all.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So originally what the story is, they were at the Taste of St. Louis, Black St. Louis. Black St. Louis.
Say it like Black!
Black St. Louis.
I'm real loud.
Recently at the City Foundry 2 weeks ago, and they saw each other. Now, what I like, I believe in divine intervention. I believe that there's always, like, you were there for a reason. Y'all met each other in the exact moment in time for the perfect reason, and this right here is the reason. Because it's very seldom that we get to meet young people who know about these things, who are interested in these things, who, you know, just ambitious as you all are, and who have intelligence enough to hold a conversation. So I am super ecstatic about it. I'm like super duper excited, and anything that I could do to assist y'all, I do graphics, motion graphics, and stuff like that. So anything, I even got a 4K camera that's been in my book bag for like weeks. If y'all need to use it and want to go out and go do some interviews, let me know.
I want you to say one more thing because I want people understand how deep this is that they're here. I want you to get us back on. What all state? No, I want you to say this. Sir. What stations have you worked on so they understand you're not no new guy to this?
So I worked.
I want them to be real loud. I want you to be real loud and clear.
I did an internship for KDHX 88.1. I did. So I originally went to the Extreme Institute by Nelly. I was in the first class to graduate there, and this was in '04. I graduated with a degree in recording engineering and a minor in entertainment management. In order to graduate, you needed 150 hours of intern hours. I graduated with 675.
Wow.
Yeah, so I actually I did more intern hours than I did school hours.
Okay.
That's just that's where I learned hands-on. But I worked for Hot 104.1, like doing different internships. I've done. I worked for AMP, which is Authentic Marketing Promotions. They were directly next door to Dirty ENT, and also the All-Star DJs. I worked with them. I worked with Warner Brothers, 300 ENT, mostly all the major regulators.
So what I want the audience to understand is that for him to say that they are good, you're hot, you're for real, it's the real deal. He's not just speaking from somebody that just. This is not his first rodeo. This is not your first day here, neither, right?
No,
See, so you can go.
But I can honestly say, so originally, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, that's when I first got hipped on them on Mr. Shaheed. I was working through Mr. Freeman at the bar, and Mr. Bosley gave me the opportunity to come up to the radio show and made me actual co-host of the radio show when they were at the radio station. But me, I'm not. I don't get up early in the morning.
I'm not a morning person either.
Yeah, right. But in all honesty, I feel like you all have way more.
Y'all got it going on.
Way more.
I'm gonna get this back on the
better of a chance than to excel on air than I would, and that's just personally from my.
So what we talking about now, I want to get on the air and talk about a little bit. So could get us back on.
What we about to talk about?
We still live, but we talking about the radio.
Okay.
We got two more minutes before you get back on.
2 more minutes.
It's on y'all now. Everything is right on y'all, along with Facebook on this here. So I want you to continue to talk about things that you're talking about, because I'm totally caught off guard. Not that I didn't think y'all was sharp, but y'all are extremely sharp.
I have a few people you would love to meet then.
Is that right? Well, come on with it then.
Well, so I'm in a class that I really like so far. It's called Dismantling Oppression, and it's essentially what they're trying to ban right now in education. It's essentially critical race theory in our government.
Okay. Geez, you're sharp. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a lot of students talking about that, and most of them aren't freshmen. It's a lot of juniors and seniors, but it's a lot of conversations on like the same level as the ones that we're having here, like completely facilitated by students.
Which is very good, because like I want to let a lot of people know, like we keep hearing critical race theory on like right-wing media.
Yeah.
And what that is really like, this is like very esoteric. Like it's very much taught within like the highest levels of education.
Okay.
And I really want people to like really understand that like this isn't like something that they're teaching the children. That like,
No.
you know,
I mean, that's also kind of important, because I think that we don't really talk about like the language we use on right-wing media a lot. I feel, because something I was always taught is that like regardless of what you see yourself as, like right-wing, left-wing, centrist, you should look at all of those like
most definitely
outlets to try and get like a wider perspective. But when you see people who are focusing on right-wing media, they're not looking at anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm able to watch it, but like I go crazy.
I do.
No, I think it's also sometimes it would be funny if it wasn't real.
I look at Fox to either laugh or cry.
Yeah. Like if they weren't serious, then maybe it would be a little funny.
Yeah, it would.
I want to kind of veggie too on what y'all were talking about. I hate to cut in.
Goodbye.
But y'all hitting so much, going back to the police. Did y'all see the Woodson Terrace piece where they sick that dog on the brother?
See that. Yeah.
Did you see that too, sister? And so that's why I'm saying we're not against police, but we're against those kind of police.
Yeah.
And with thugs, I even like that word. Anytime that you can take a dog, and it kind of reminds me how they used to do it in South Africa, It also reminded me how they used to do it in 1960 when it was Governor Wallace and Bull Connors and some of them were out there during that time. And it also reminded me of Ferguson. That's why I used to have the chains and the ropes on and them dogs because they wound up bringing 22 dogs out there that day. Yeah. And any time that you're that callous that you'll sick a dog on a person and have them biting them like that. See, what it shows me is that that's what got caught on the camera that particular time. But that's not his first rodeo. Yeah. That dog done bit a whole lot of people, and he just didn't have no problem with it, none whatsoever. So kind of tell me what you thought about that.
I think we need to stop talking about like the bad apple, because when you have, what happens when one apple goes bad in a barrel, the rest of the apples go bad in the barrel.
I mean, it's also kind of what I was saying earlier. It's built on a broken foundation.
Most definitely, yeah. So, there's this code of silence.
That's it.
Is what really hurts everybody.
Yes.
Because it makes it, if you say that you are a good person, if you say that you are ethically well, and that you're moral, and you allow other people to do stuff like that,
you're not a good person.
You're not a good
person.
You're
an enabler.
You're complicit. Most that is what perpetuates the culture of violence in these police circles.
I mean, that's one thing that's like terrifies white people when we're talking about race at all, that if you acknowledge that if you aren't actively working against racism, you are complicit in it.
Right.
And that is something that terrifies them to realize.
And I think that is because, but it's not only, I think there's always this fear.
How are we looking, Boski?
About 30 seconds.
Okay, but I think there's always this fear of like they're always scared that we might do the same thing to them.
They're terrified.
I think that's the greatest fear.
I mean, also one thing I kind of want to go back to. I loved it when they called them thugs, because that's the thing in America and like racism. This use of language and the way that we frame black people in the media, especially, and the way that we won't call out white people for anything. It's the way that we use the nice pictures of them with their families after they've killed someone.
Oh, most definitely.
It's the way that we won't call them out for their terrorism.
Yeah.
You're right, and you got to call them out. When we go back on air too, if y'all don't mind,
Yeah.
Quiet on set. This last segment is 10 minutes. We go back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. You're on the Freeman Bosley Jr. show, and I'm here joined with special guests. Well, they're not guests no more. Brother Boski, is it proper to say a takeover?
It's a takeover.
It's been a takeover. And who ever taken us over?
This is Marquise Govan.
I want real slow. Who?
Marquise Govan.
And Nia Neville.
So y'all going along. So I thought y'all would say, no, that's not true. So y'all going along. It's been a takeover.
Yeah, no, we're coming back to take over again, too.
Take it over. Sorry, stop.
You gave us the opportunity, and now we're here to stay.
Well, I don't have any problem. We want young people, because you bring life. My Uncle Seymour said something once. He said, whenever was children in the house, my daughter Latifah wasn't at the house, and he came by one time, second time, and he turned, he said, did you lose your family? I said, no, Uncle Seymour. He said, wow, because I don't see your daughter, I don't see your family. And all of a sudden, just before he left, the door opened, Latifah couldn't have been no more than about 2 or 3 years old, and she ran there and jumped in my arm. He said, nah, that's what I'm talking about. He said, when children in the house, you got life in the house. He said, when they wasn't in there, like, turn them lights off. What I tell you? Why y'all doing this? You got too much. It's life in the house. So y'all bring life. So we want you to deal with this and help us. I want to switch just for a minute because and then you'll close it out for us. I want to talk about this brother Reggie Clemens, who wrote me, and I've been kind of hitting it a little bit every week, but they wind up in Bonterre jail. What they did to these brothers is about 7 of them where they were praying. And they've been trying to cover it up. They've been trying to hide it, but they really get hit with a hate crime along with religious denial. But people were absolutely praying. There's a certain way we pray and we make prostrations and we're up and we're down. And while they was absolutely saying their prayers, they came in and maced them and came and beat them, left them for 16 hours with all the stuff that they had maced them with, how they beat them, and left them where they didn't have food, sleep, couldn't go to sleep or none of that. Then turned the fan on them. And then the very next day, the brother named Steve, whose Muslim name is Mustafa, they came in there and jumped on him again and started calling them the N-word and told them, you know, we'll kill you up in here. You can, ain't nobody knowing what we're doing.
Is this at the city jail down?
No, it's a lot of stuff happening in the city jail, but this is Bonne Terre.
Okay.
This is Bonne Terre jail. That's in Missouri, but it's Bonne Terre, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Southern
Gotcha.
Missouri.
Oh,
Gotcha.
that makes a lot of sense.
But the bottom line is, I got somebody now that's going to work with me on confiscating this tape that shows everything that was happening, so they couldn't hide it. But he gave me a package that was really huge. These are 2 more letters that just came this recently. So I told him I would make sure that I put it out how they're treating people. And remember, you have families in these jails, and when things are happening, it could be your son or your daughter or somebody in your family, and it don't make a difference what their religion is. If they would have been in the church, if they would have been Catholic, if they would have been Jewish. Once a person starts praying, it's a certain way, it's out of respect how you supposed to deal with them, and they didn't deal with them right. So I wanted to make sure that I put that out. And then the other thing I want to put out is this Homer G. Phillips. Last week we talked about it, and it's a history that I really would like to share with you and you, Sister Nia, you know, maybe on the next, with Paul McKee and what he's another slicky. Yeah. Sneaky, slick, slimy white boy.
Oh yeah, I know. Like this man has like burned down black people's homes. He has like, and he also like lets his property degrade, like just fall apart. And he used that so that he could buy up more black people's homes. And now that the NGA is there, he's going to gentrify that part of the Fifth Ward, so that can be a white community now.
That's like, really what he wanted, because you got to remember what used to be the Pruitt-Ike over down there.
Yeah.
And the mere fact that they done went and tried to do it the way they did, but the disrespect with our seniors who have stood up and say they didn't want him to put the name of Homer G. Phillips because of what it meant to us as a black community, to take a 3-bed clinic and give it a name that had 600 beds in a hospital, and 90% of all doctors around the world would come to Homer G. to get taught. So
I actually toured that facility. I just stopped working for Representative Rasheen Aldridge, and we took a tour of that entire facility, and it is not all that it is promised to be. Let's just put it that way. And on top of that, we have to understand the context of Homer G. Phillips. Like at one point in the United States, I believe upwards of 70% of black doctors in this country were being trained at Homer G. Phillips Hospital.
That's my point.
So that is like the fact.
It's a smack in the face.
It is an insult on top of like his work around attacking black home ownership in St. Louis City.
Well, you know why he's there? I keep bringing his name up. Check out his relationship with Rich Callow. See this? I keep talking about this for a reason. That's why I'm concerned about Tashara having him over the preservation piece. You know why? When she ran for office, not this time, but the first time, that's what her. When she ran for mayor for the city of St. Louis 4 years ago, that was her campaign manager. This Rich Callow. I want you to Google. If I'm wrong, come back and tell. I know I'm not wrong.
Well, I know you're not wrong, but it was also Ann Schweitzer.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about who behind, for them to know this man's history, and to still bring. See, you can't take pearls and cast them into swines. You can't have a kosher meal and then bring some pork there. This man is some chitlins, and they know he's some chitlins. And chitlins is bowel movements. That's what he is. I'm just keeping it clean on the radio this morning, but that's what he is. And the mere fact that you know he's from that stock, that anything that Shamos did that was slimy, he always had a Jeff Rankford, but the main person he had was Rich Callow. Why was, and I always ask them, call 622-3201 and ask her yourself, why is Rich Callow a part of anything that you're doing? Why? Yeah. No, this is Brother Shahid. I don't want to put y'all on. This is Brother Anthony Shahid at 1314. I want to 622-3201. This is Brother Shahid. This is not for 1600. This is not Nia. This is not Marquise. This is Brother Anthony Shahid saying that I don't do no buck dancing and buck jumping. I don't tiptoe through the tulip. I'm a free black man that say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it. I'm free. What you're saying is a free man. I'm not under their payroll. I don't take nothing from them. I don't want no contract with them. And to be honest, the way they done with these white folks being a puppet on the string, I don't want no damn contact with them.
I understand the concern around Richard Callow.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna give the mayor a little credit. She did hire Richard Neal. to run
Yes.
the development.
I said that last week. You want her, Neil Richardson.
Neil Richardson.
No,
sorry.
no, you
Neil Richardson.
know exactly what you're talking about. I talked about what she did also, which I respected her for that. The Ethical Society, when she brought on Sister
Heather Taylor.
I respect her for that. And Dan Isom, I respect her for that. She also brought a Sister Elisa for the school board on. I respect her for that.
Oh, okay. I got to give a shout out to Alicia Sanye.
Yes,
she is. That is my sister. She would not let
she, no, I'm just keeping it real. What she did good is, but when she closed the hospital down, see, one of the worst things that happened is you got people now that's sleeping with bed bugs.
Yeah.
See, because I'm in the jails. See, now you got people who are using toilets. Women are using toilets in plastic bags. You got 2 minutes? So I got to bring that out. See, so what she done did, but she took $33 million that's supposed to have been coming to the black community on Natural Bridge, Grand, West Florissant, and Dr. King, and vetoed that money that is not coming in the black community. This is a fact. Because we
saw that in the board bill.
Not only that, we had the Sister Pam Boyd, who's the chairman of the Black Caucus, came on here and told us. Brother John Muhammad came on there and told us what she did, and then took the $33 million that she's supposed to let came into the black community, and then started putting it in the jails that she closed down that she shouldn't have never closed down. That's a problem. So whoever want to cover for it's okay. I don't cover for blacks or white. When they doing something wrong and they buck dancing and they paying white folks back for campaign promises, Brother Shaheed brings it out.
I mean, I think we need to see more of that because you definitely see a lot of tokenism of black politicians no matter where they stand on the scale. Nowadays, and you don't see people calling them out solely for the fact that they're black.
I will just say quickly for the mayor.
Because we only got 30 seconds left. But that's going to mean you could next week. This is going to be part 2. Next week you got to come back.
Because we can discuss the workhouse and that board bill. Because I got a little bit of a different view. But we can talk about the board bill.
So I think we got 30 seconds left. So what I want y'all to do is like this, what you seeing now, share it, tag it, and follow it. Like it, share it, tag it, and follow it. Like it, share it, tag it, and follow it. Like it, say it.
Like it, share it, tag it, and follow it.
You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Keep it on lock. Quit
playing.
Woo! This is a good show. Y'all are good, and y'all know how to come on back. We still live until he tells us we turned off, and then I will let you. Y'all still like they popping on here.
But what I was gonna say about the board bill is,
we can talk about it now. We live on Facebook, so you can go.
You know, the board bill is board bill 2, and this is my primary problem with board bill 2. Is that in doing board bill 2, right? Not only did they try to refund the money that was originally cut from the police budget that was not needed, right? Okay, that was problem number one. Problem number 2 is that money, right? Because if we don't use that money for specifically coronavirus relief, that makes us ineligible for other grants from the federal government, particularly through this infrastructure plan that's about to pass, that might give us more money for actual, like we could double dip is the thing. And that's what the mayor's plan is. The mayor's plan is the double dip. If we can actually use this coronavirus money, you know, she got the $10 million in there for, $5 million for the families with the $500 checks, right? And if we use this for like, particularly renters relief and our unhoused problem, and just use all that money for that, and apply for the rest of a bunch of this federal money, because this is what the mayor's Noel Pfeiffer was talking about. In terms of like all this money that we're going to be able to get for development, not on top of like that money possibly being against the COVID guidelines of the usage of this money, right? Yeah. Well, so I do understand that like a lot of people are mad about this money, but I understand the mayor's reasoning behind it. To me, it makes a lot of sense, and I hope that we can get more money in this infrastructure package.
Well, go ahead.
Last week there was we had Johnson Muhammad.
Yeah.
Who was the alderman.
I fight with him on Twitter a lot.
I fight with him too. I fight with him too all the time. Yeah, he blocked me on social media, but I live in his ward. He came up here last week. He spoke some real stuff when he said, "Well, we got that 10 million." Was he talking about the 10 million or 30 million?
We're talking about the 33 million.
We got 33 million that was originally supposed to be put towards the north side.
Yeah.
And because of the workhouse, they switched the name of the workhouse
to an annex.
To the annex
because it's closed.
And it's closed, so it's supposed to be closed. But instead of them closing it, they switched the name of it, and now they're using that 33 million. Like you said, they're double dipping. They're using that 33 million versus using it towards the north side. They're using it to fix locks and different problems that's going on inside.
And see where the problem is coming in is you got all the black aldermen came and talked to her, and instead of her not being arrogant and sit and listen, she didn't want to do that. And see, what you got to remember, what you don't know is I'm the oldest person that's been in the workhouse, so everybody talking about the workhouse don't have a clue what they're talking about because they ain't been down there. I've been down there now 37 years. It was people who came before me, but they're gone now. Either they done passed or they're just not there. So I know the workhouse better than I know this building here that I'm here every week on. Everybody's talking about something. They don't even have a clue about what they're talking about, but what they don't talk about is what I see on the record. But the reason there's been every bit of about 10 riots down there is because those problems were there before Sister Tashara took over. But what she did is when she shut that building down and sent 300 people and piled them into that jail, not knowing what she was doing, didn't have a clue what she was doing. She caused problems to people's families. And most people are talking in defense of her. That's because they don't have a family member down there. They haven't seen sisters using the toilet in plastic bags. That's what they haven't seen. Because the toilets wouldn't work because they rushed them to a building in the area that they had people. What they don't tell you is the people that slept on the floor. What my eyes seen, and that's why I took John Muhammad down there so he could see it. Is that what you heard? Am I right or wrong?
And then also John is
he's the chairman of that committee. So what I did is I took them down. Yeah. So what I did, I took them down there so he could see it. Women laying on the floor with ants, 3 in the cell, using bathrooms and plastic bags, and also taking plastic bags, using them for curtains. This is what I seen with so what everybody's taking up for, talking about it's okay, that's a lie, it ain't okay. What I see now, what's gonna sooner or later happen, somebody gonna wind up getting killed down there under her watch.
At the workhouse.
At that workhouse and the Justice Center. Okay. What they need to do is close it on down and send everybody down to the workhouse, but watch, she don't want to do it. Instead of her just saying, I done made a terrible mistake of all. I don't want y'all to keep covering for me because I done messed up. I know it's a lot of y'all really want to push for me. The worst thing I done did is I had no business. I didn't have a clue. She didn't want to do that, and everybody started talking about something they don't have a clue about. You have never been in that jail.
I've never been.
I know you ain't.
No.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me. So we're talking about something that you don't know nothing about, and we're taking up for somebody that has caused a problem.
I'm not taking up for her.
I'm just saying, we're causing a problem. Yeah, we're causing a problem on a level that we really don't understand for people that they don't wind up sending 300, 400, 500 miles away. Because first they were going to use the workhouse. Now they don't reopen it, but they saying it ain't the workhouse at the end. It's a lie. It's the same damn place it was from day one.
So my biggest criticism is the fact that I did support closing the workhouse. And that's
you did some what the workhouse?
I did support closing the workhouse for a multitude of reasons in terms of like the structural ability of the place.
Well, how come y'all ain't protesting now? Because they're going to send everybody back down.
I'm still mad that she didn't close the workhouse.
Well, she could, because there wasn't nothing wrong with when they talking about structure. Had you went in that building, bro?
No, but I saw the Post-Dispatch report. Now, I normally don't trust the Post-Dispatch.
I don't know what the Post said, but I'm telling you for a fact.
They did a good investigation.
Well, they didn't investigate with me. Whatever investigation they did, again, that's what I'm trying to say. How can you talk about something that you don't know? They didn't do and have been down there. I've been down there for that jail damn near twice a week for the last 37 years. Nobody asked me a question. 10 years ago, I'm the one that caused them to come down when Doris Chappelle was down there, when they was doing all this stuff. I was the one that caused for that investigation. They should have shut it down then.